Get it all down. You started late. Don't be late.
What's going on, y'all?
Get it done before the
tuning
ferns.
into the highest rated, most listened to podcast to ever grace the airwaves.
Get all that
And you're
foam
a
also.
better person
Get
for
all that
listening
foam.
to us.
All of it.
All right, maybe not, but you're really going to enjoy it anyways. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and we'll be talking social media hot topics, pop culture news, the greatest in movies and music, and all things sports. Make sure you're following us on social media at Made to Motivate podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch the show on our YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and with that being said, let's get this show started.
I'm so shit-faced.
You drunk ass. What is going on, guys? This is Made to Motivate podcast, season 5, episode 2. This is your host, Ryan Weiss. I'm joined, as always, by Jesse Young from Sports Illustrated.
What's going on?
What's going on? A little delayed there. Get confused? Forget who you were?
I was reading your notes.
Christopher, the film freak Kessinger.
What's going on? Can you see me?
I can see you. You look good.
Okay.
Don't say what's going on. That's my thing.
How you doing?
There you go.
Hey, how you doing? What's new and exciting, guys? We're back. We all survived the Pocky One Chip Challenge. Me and Chris
Keep your mouth shut.
shit the bed, but Jesse
Did you survive? Really?
Jesse went in for the long haul. He made us both look like chumps, but
But even he was second place.
ooh,
my
he
God.
was. Yeah, the winner, the champion, Dan Sandman, couldn't make it tonight. He will go on in infamy as the podcast champion for the One Chip Challenge. Jesse, a close
You won't
second.
need another one, though.
He would.
You wouldn't.
He'll beat you again.
All right, Sandman, I challenge you to a one chip challenge chip off.
Yeah, I don't see why you both wouldn't.
All
A
right.
one chip challenge chip chomp,
Chimp chop.
if you will.
Chimp chop, chomp chop. Yeah, so Dan was our champion. Jesse distant second, and then me and Chris were
A very distant.
a very distant third and fourth. So anyways, we survived. We are back. What's new and exciting? What's going on with you, Jesse?
Absolutely nothing is new.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
just been working and watching football and preparing for a baby. Nothing is new though.
When's that baby coming?
2 weeks.
Is it? Are you gonna do induce
from tomorrow?
You're inducing it?
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Oh boy,
Wow.
Papa Jesse.
Then I'm taking a hiatus.
The Made to Motivate family is going to grow one bigger.
It's gonna grow one smaller because Jesse's ditching us.
That's true. So anyway,
Bye guys.
Christopher, what is new and exciting? Maybe we'll pull somebody from the casuals to fill in for Jesse.
yeah,
Ooh.
I could do that.
You couldn't do it. You wouldn't handle
Could
it.
do it. I mean, they're probably better at sports anyway. So
My
They're
vote.
not. I've beaten them in every sports related thing that we've done.
My vote is Ben. Anyway,
I don't know who that is. I don't know any of them.
I do like
I know
Ben. Ben's
Ken
my
and,
boy.
Ken
Yeah.
and Bo. I know them. I don't know anybody else. Anyways, Christopher, did you have something new and exciting you've been holding on to for like 4 days?
I wouldn't say
To
exciting.
tell us what's going on.
So Friday night, I messaged these guys and I said, this is like 2:00 in the morning, so technically Saturday. And I said, I've got the story that I cannot wait to tell you guys about, and I'm going to save it for the show. I'm not going to tell you anything about it until then. So this weekend, for those who don't know, I went on kind of a out-of-town vacation of sorts. I went to Hocking Hills and stayed in a luxury cabin with 10 of my friends. It was like a bridal groomsman kind of get together.
Oh, fuck fest.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. The guys got with the women got with the guys, and
Guys got with the guys.
guys
got
got
with the
guys.
women.
Yeah. So anyway, I was the last one that got down there. It was about 7:00. Everybody had already been there, and so all the room assignments were taken. I was the last person to pick. So I go, "What's left?" And they said, "Well, you've got your choice of 4 bunk beds that's in this room." So I go down and I look at these bunk beds, and to say that these things were claustrophobic, which that's what I am. Like claustrophobia to me is a nightmare. I don't know if you can see it there. So on each side of those beds, there's 3 beds.
Yeah.
There's one in the bottom, one in the middle, and one up the top. So I said, I'm not going to sleep in the middle because trying to get in between those bars is murder for me. So it's either going to have to be on the top or at the bottom. And I thought, I'm going to be drinking a lot this weekend. I'm going to go at the bottom. Just so I don't have to crawl down and piss and, break my neck in the middle of the night.
Okay.
So I choose the bottom. That by itself is kind of tense for me because, like, as I just said, I'm claustrophobic. So I get in there, I squeeze my big ass into that little tiny bed.
Bro.
Your tense being the bottom.
Yeah. And it's comfortable. I'll say that.
That's good.
I get to sleep. It's serious. It's about that much room.
Yeah, it's like a camper bunk.
So I get to sleep, and I credit it to, drinking 8 or 9 beers that night, which helped me sleep a little better. So middle of the night, probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock, I start hearing, oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts. Like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I wake up and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And Fred, who was one of the groomsmen too, and he's sleeping right above me, he leans down and he goes, that's Jimmy. And he talks in his sleep. And I go, well, thanks for fucking telling me this now.
He slept in one of the bunks with you?
Fred was one bunk up on me. He was in the middle.
Oh.
So he was right above me. And Jimmy is in the one that's on the other side of the room, but we can hear him like it's me to Jesse right now.
Yeah.
So, oh, it hurts. Oh, so I gave it some time. I was like, I'm going to lay here, just kind of see if it stops and I can close my eyes again. About an hour later, it starts up again and it goes, chocolate chips, s'mores. And I'm doing the best impression possible of it.
Just talking in his sleep.
Chocolate chips. Oh, so I was like, fuck this. I literally said that out loud. I said, fuck this. And I got up and left. So I go upstairs because I figured the living room's probably empty. Everybody's in their bed. It's 2 o'clock in the morning by this time. There should be nobody up whatsoever. I get up there and I'm fucking hearing professional wrestling going off. I know this because it's my company, AEW, that I watch all the time. So I go, well, I'll sit here for a minute and, I'll turn the remote off. There's 3 guys up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching professional wrestling, sitting there on the fucking couch watching this shit. So I try, I don't know why I even attempted this, but I grabbed the little couch and I try to sleep on that. And my legs are hanging off like from the knee over. So I'm sitting there, I'm sleeping. And they actually turn this shit up louder when I get up there.
Dicks,
I know this because it's now echoing through the fucking surround sound. So I fucking grab my blanket and I grab my pillow and I go back downstairs. There's like a living room that's out there that's right next to our actual bedroom. Somebody was sleeping on that couch, so I couldn't grab that. So I was just like, I'm looking for the best spot possible that's quiet. And I stood there for a second to hear if Bob, who was the guy sleeping there, if he sleep talked or if he was a loud snore, anything, kind of a muffled snore, but nothing that would distract me too much.
Nothing like Ryan, goddamn.
Oh,
fucking freight train.
I remember you telling me that with Orlando. So it's just kind of smart, like,
yeah, bro.
Yeah, that could be soothing.
Yeah. So I was like, cool. I actually I moved the pool table over and I picked the mat that was right there. There was like a floor mat laying there on the fucking hard concrete floor.
Bro.
And I said, I'm going to sleep here for the night. So I realized I lost my blanket in the exchange somewhere. Like I left it upstairs. I don't know where the fuck it is. I don't want to go back upstairs. So I got my pillow with me. I'm like, well, that's cool. That's the most important part of it. And I go into the washroom that's right down there across from my room. And I'm looking for a blanket of any kind. I can't find a blanket, but I do find this nice drape set. So I take the drape set and I'm using that as a blanket for the rest of the night. And I realize how fucking small this drape set is.
It's like falling asleep at your buddy's house when you're like 8 years old on the couch. There's nothing anywhere.
It's the worst.
So I realized how small this drape set is because it only goes to my knees like the couch did.
Yeah.
So the rest of the night, I'm like a cocoon and I'm just kind of fucking, burying myself in there. And it is freezing fucking cold. When I type that out to you, I'm lucky that like I got everything out in one try because I was so tired I wouldn't have tried twice.
Bro.
So I got 2 hours of sleep that night. The second night that I was there was a little better because Bob gave me the couch. He let me sleep there. However, in the middle of the night, I realized that I'm actually sinking into this couch. Like I'm sinking into the back of it. There's a big fucking hole in the back of this couch. So I wake up and my ass is literally in the ass of the couch. And I'm kind of out like this. So just pulling myself out of that, I wish there was a camera that would have saw the whole thing because not easy when you're a 230-pound man.
Oh my God, that's funny as fuck.
So yeah,
bro, that's awful. I had a shitty sleep situation like that once. My dad used to own a whole bunch of Hallmark stores, and he used to own the one that was in the Fairlawn Plaza where Skyway is, like Chuck E. Cheese and everything.
Yep.
And he moved that location to Fairlawn. And he built that big plaza where Romeo's is, right by Giant Eagle and stuff, by the Cinemark. He built that plaza and moved that store there. So me and my little brother had to pack that entire store up like into trucks and move it to the new location. And we were working one weekend at the Fairlawn store and we're like, it's like 2 a.m. Something's like we worked all fucking day. We're like, we're not driving home and coming right back in the morning. So we were going to stay the night there. It was so fucking cold. My little brother's friend worked at Chuck E. Cheese. So after he got off, he brought us over pizza in trash bags. And we literally had to like sleep inside black, like fucking restaurant
Here's
trash
a Chuck E. Cheese
bags.
pelt.
Yeah, dude, because it was so cold. We're sleeping on like a hard concrete floor, just wrapped in black, like industrial trash bags. It was the most awful night of sleep I've ever had.
Yeah, bring me Chucky's outfit, dude. I'll sleep in that shit.
You know, he said it was awful. They have to rotate it there. Apparently, like everyone that works there has to wear the outfit at some point. He said it's the most disgusting thing ever, bro.
So how do you wash that?
You don't. You don't. Oh, it's awful.
Makes me sick.
Yeah, that sucks though. That, and there's nothing worse than when you're like super tired.
Yeah.
And you have someone snoring, or like you just tune in on like a noise, like water dripping or something, and you cannot fall asleep. It's the absolute worst thing in the world.
This dude's sleep, like I've heard sleep talking before. My brother used to do it all the time. He would call football games, which was actually kind of entertaining because I'd have money on the games as he was calling them. So that at least I got something out of it. This, it hurts. I thought my room was possessed. Dude. Yeah, well, I've heard that too. That was going on upstairs with the bride and the groom, but
bro, that's so fucking wild.
They're supposed to wait till the wedding night.
Yeah, when we were in Orlando,
Yeah,
Nick and Ryan,
heathens.
Sure.
between the two of them, they both snore like loud,
I would've
fucking
left.
gurgling. I ended up he let me use his noise canceling headphones.
I told you all to
and I
bring
put
them.
on ambience, like waterfall music.
Did it
It
work?
it drowned it out a little bit. Yeah, it was good.
I would have left. I'd have slept down in the lobby or so, or said, give me my own room.
There was nowhere to go. I was just like, fuck. It was 2 rooms, Ryan in one and Nick in the
You could have
other.
went and
Oh.
slept with Nick.
You guys are both awful snorers.
Oh,
I thought about going into the bathroom, but it was just like those walls were thin.
I
It was all
tell
bad.
people anytime I travel, I don't care who I'm traveling with. I never know what people are like when they sleep. Bring headphones.
yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're noise canceling or just earbuds. Put them on and turn your phone on. But
Yeah.
bring fucking headphones, because
I'm
there's nothing worse than not being able.
And
to
I should have
sleep.
thought about it too, because I need silence
Yeah, me
to
too.
sleep. Like, and Steph is complete different. Like, she needs like a TV on.
So
I
Ashley is-
fucking hate that
I
shit.
like a fan on.
I can turn like our volume down to like 9, and with the fans going and everything, you can barely hear anything from it. And I've learned to be able to sleep with that. But like, I turn the color, darkness, contrast, everything all the way to 0. So it's basically just a black screen with like a little bit of light from like subtitles or something that might pop up.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I can get through it.
I can sleep anywhere, any floor, any room. I don't care, as long as I can like fall asleep. It's just when it's like you know when you're like so tired, or it's like so quiet that you just zone in on like the littlest sound.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll sleep through anything, man. I will not fucking wake up. It does not matter to me. I don't need a blanket. I don't need a pillow. Just I'll be fucking out.
Steph has started snoring ever since she got like
Big.
along the ways of the pregnancy. I won't say big because that's how you get your ass kicked.
I mean, do you not get big when you get pregnant?
You're,
I mean, have you
you're not
seen
allowed to
those?
say it, Ryan.
Oh,
Jesus.
sorry, you're very small. You're a very
But,
small
she
person.
doesn't,
sensitive
she doesn't
crowd
fucking
here.
listen.
You say small, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, what's something wrong with my baby?"
But she started snoring later on, and like she's really good about it. I'll be like, babe, you're snoring. She's just like,
Gotta roll them over.
anytime I'm snoring, just wake me up. I don't want you to not be able to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so then you can't go to sleep because you literally snore the instant that you fucking fall
It's the
asleep now.
worst,
Like, that's the
dude.
worst because
Yeah.
they never give you time to fall asleep first and then start snoring.
Yeah.
It's always just like, oh, my bad.
That's why you better get to bed first.
Yep.
Like you better get in there first.
I always wait till I am literally like on the verge of passing out
Mm-hmm.
to go to bed, because then I know I'll hit the bed and I will be out. Like it won't matter if there's any noise, because I'm just so tired. I will just fall
I
asleep.
can't do that.
And I wear my noise canceling headphones too bad,
And
and
sleep with that.
I watch YouTube.
Porn. Oh,
That's before you go to bed, not while you're going to bed, weirdo.
You watch those
That's
vocal
to, like,
exercises
preamp you.
where they
I do
soft voices, whatever.
No, I
Sleeping
watch
in ages.
ASMR stuff, like that chick from TikTok
she's sexy.
that you sent me, and then massage therapy videos, or like stuff
Pay
like
attention.
chiropractic videos.
Look here.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Follow my finger.
It's like, yeah, I'll follow your finger. I like when you tell me what to do.
I don't like that. I'm not getting to sleep with that. I'm like, I want to see this chick, man.
Yeah. No, it works. for
I
me,
want to
dude. It puts
see
me-
some titties.
I want a girl that looks like Wesley Snipes, and then I won't have to pay attention and just
Yeah,
fucking go to
there's,
bed.
hey, there's plenty of not attractive ones that make good sounds too. I mean, you don't have to pick the sexy one. It's just beneficial.
They go, oh, it hurts.
And then the next day we got up, dude, and we're sitting there eating breakfast, and I just look right at Jimmy, and I'm like,
Wesley Snipes, chocolate chips.
Bro, when you were doing that impression, you know what it reminded me of
hmm.
is the the guy from Better Call Saul that has the poop. He makes the toilet thing.
God.
Oh, it's so big.
That is him.
Doesn't it sound like? Oh, that's a big one.
Oh, that's to a T. His personality and everything. That is to a T.
So funny, dude.
He's a nice dude. I just don't want to sleep in the same room with him ever again.
You don't want to sleep with him?
I don't want to sleep with him at all.
That's all right. I understand. All right, guys. What are we gonna start with?
Hollywood.
Kick it off.
Yeah, I'm excited for Hollywood.
Yeah, we got a big one.
Ooh.
And it hurts. We got any beer in there?
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down! News team, assemble!
Christopher, the film freak Kessinger. The writer of words.
That's right.
The connoisseur of movies.
The lyrical Lionheart, as
the
I used to call
reviewer
myself.
of films.
Yeah.
You got a big, strong will.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, amongst other things. What's going on, sir? What's new in movies?
This might be the biggest Hollywood report we've ever done, just for the magnitude of topics that we have to talk about. So first of all, we're going to start off with a little bit of bittersweet news that developed this afternoon, and that is the passing of Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald, best known to a lot of people as the Saturday Night Live comedian, and recently the host of his own podcast titled The Norm Macdonald Show, passed away at the age of 61 after a decades-long battle with cancer unknown to his friends. He kept it very silent and hidden away from everybody but his family.
It's like Boseman.
Huh?
That's like Boseman did that. Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, yeah.
No one knew he was sick either.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know it's crazy that celebrities can get away with something that big. Because like he's going to like chemo and shit like that. Like, how do you not get found out doing stuff like that?
I think it's harder for someone like Boseman, and this isn't a knock on Norm Macdonald, but I mean, let's be honest, Chadwick Boseman's a bigger celebrity.
Yeah.
So like, as
Norm
far
Macdonald's time has kind of passed. Also,
sure, but I'm saying in terms of popularity for that argument, it's like it would be harder for Chadwick Boseman to keep that quiet than it would be for Norm Macdonald. But apparently this was, like I said, it's 9 years he's been suffering, reeling from cancer. And I gotta say, as somebody who listens to his podcast, I didn't know it. Like you don't hear it. It's not like the show decreased in quality because of this or anything. He very much kept it professional all the way until the end. And then to find out this news this afternoon, it shocked me.
It's sad because you don't know it's coming and everything seems so normal. Like he continued on his life and acted, continued doing the things he enjoyed, and you would have never known anything of it. And then for it to happen, it's almost like when someone dies in like a car accident or something. It's so sudden. Had you kind of known he was sick and you knew it was coming, it wouldn't have been like as shocking. But yeah, that's really sad.
And I mean, aside from obviously Saturday Night Live, he played Burt Reynolds, as we heard in a sound clip.
So funny.
He's played many legendary characters on there. As far as movies go, I have to say, like, he has a small part in Billy Madison that Jesse and I were laughing about before the show.
Oh yeah.
And Seek Out Dirty Work, which is a very underrated comedy starring him and Artie Lang, came out in 1996, has a small cameo by Chris Farley.
Okay.
Yeah. So rest in peace. Norm Macdonald will be remembered and he will be missed. Okay, moving on to video game news. We had a couple of big releases come out of Marvel this week, and I know Jesse's excited to talk about it. Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine video game releases.
Holy shit.
Now, this is big news by itself. Obviously these games do a magnitude of sales, but the big link between these games is that they are in fact linked, and it is that they take place in the same world with one another.
What?
This is basically like the first crossover between the X-Men and the
I didn't know
MCU.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
so they take place in the same worlds. The video game creators Insomnia are not talking a lot about it, but they have given hints that yes, it is part of the video game universe, if you will.
Yeah, that's fucking sick. I did not know that. I knew they were both by Insomniac, but I did not know that they were going to be connected. That's fucking awesome.
So I remember we talked about this on the show. You loved the first Spider-Man video game, correct?
The first one is great. Miles Morales was great. Miles Morales was a lot smaller, but when that news broke, I actually went back and put the 2018 Spider-Man in and started playing that for a little bit, and it's so much fucking fun. It's fantastic.
And some of the stills that I've seen from this one, it looks like that they're expanding into that kind of universal role that the third movie is taking on. It's that, you're going to have a crossroads between different Spider-Men, like Morales, like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
They're all going to come to a forefront. And I think that's pretty cool. And especially considering, like we already mentioned, Wolverine, being in this universe, does he appear in the game? What's the context there?
Yeah, and they had like if you go back to like the original PlayStation Spider-Man that came out in 2000, that one was fantastic, and it had like a ton of crossover stuff. Like you had your major people like Venom and Black Cat and everything, but like Captain America's in it, the Flaming Torch is in it. It's narrated by Stan Lee. Like it was a game that involved a lot of stuff and had a lot of cameos and stuff like that, but also a lot of Easter eggs that led to other things like other Fantastic Four guys and things like that also. So I think it's going to be cool where they're going to be able to introduce some stuff that's not just in the Spider-Man universe anymore, which is already huge. And now you're bringing in the X-Men and, who knows what else they're going to bring into now. If they've got Marvel's like signature on everything, they're going to be good to go.
They did confirm Doctor Strange and a couple of the MCU best are in this, like as far as the big characters go. So that'll be cool by itself too.
Yeah. Plus Venom was in the trailer, and that's like the biggest selling point for me.
Yeah.
I fucking love Venom.
Yeah, and in video game form, I mean, it's going to look perfect now.
Yeah.
As opposed to that shitty NES release back in my day. But we're going to transition on to the world of music real quick here. The VMAs were this past Sunday. A lot of people don't even realize the VMAs are still a thing. I can remember back in my day, there were some legendary shows. Obviously, everybody remembers the Britney and Madonna kiss. Everybody remembers Britney with the snake
and the bodysuit.
Yeah.
The nude bodysuit.
Yep, the nude bodysuit, of course, when she performed with NSYNC, then boyfriend Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a lot of shows. This VMA, to me, I actually did get to watch it. I made it a point to, after football, that I was going to sit down and watch this thing after a long hangover of football, which we'll get to later. And I watched it, and I have to say, all of my suspicions were confirmed. This is a very boring show now.
Whoa. I got to stop you right there.
Okay.
Because Kanye West had one of the greatest VMA moments of all time.
He did, but he was nowhere to be seen on this installment.
He was at the Met Gala.
I realize part of the problem is the fact that I'm so out of touch with popular music these days, but I do have my artists that I follow. Like I love an Olivia Rodrigo. I love, there's a few artists that were nominated for sure. Like MGK, I'm not a big fan of, but I followed his career long enough. And we'll talk about MGK here in a second. But the awards themselves were kind of monotonous, and there wasn't really any big moments that happened, at least on screen. There's one big moment that happens post screen, and that's the meeting of Conor McGregor and MGK. Apparently, MGK was fighting with some of Conor's people, and it led to a little scuffle. No punches were thrown, but they were pushing back and forth.
A drink was thrown.
He tried.
Was there?
Yeah, Conor threw a drink, and he tried to punch him.
Oh, did he?
He like was over. There's
like
a picture
6
of him,
feet
like,
away,
over
though.
across people. Yeah,
It'd be like me trying to
like-
punch you from here.
No
like-
touching. Yeah.
Yeah,
No touching.
He tried to like go over the crowd and like get him in the face. But
Okay.
there was too many people in between them.
So here's the thing. There's been theories, obviously, that this was a publicity stunt like the VMAs have been known to do in past. People are wondering, why would MGK even attempt to, start a fight with Conor McGregor?
He started a fight with the GOAT
Yeah.
rapper. So
Yeah.
Do we know why? Because I saw something that I don't know the exact story. Someone said he asked for a picture with them, and MGK said no, and
Yeah.
that started the issue. Do we know what actually like started the fight?
Well, and one theory is that MGK is actually friends with the Paul brothers. So like that has a lot to do with
I
it too.
could definitely
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, I could see that. They've posted something together. Jake was out at a concert or something with MGK after that fight. They like were at Barley or
But,
something,
like,
partying together after his fight in Cleveland. So
The Paul brothers are huge though. Like obviously they're gonna have friends somewhere. You don't just go and be like, "You like them? I'm gonna fuck you up." Like
I don't know. Connor's
that was a
hot
terrible
tempered,
Irish
man.
accent.
It was
but-
awful. Connor, he's got a temper, man. I wouldn't be surprised if like MGK said something stupid about them or something, and
Guilt
I
by
don't know.
association.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care about either of those guys' careers at this point.
I
It's
love
just
Conor
like
McGregor.
I love Connor, but like he's done.
I don't think anything's going to come from it, obviously. To me, I wouldn't be surprised if this was set up by MTV themselves and they said,
Yeah.
hey, go out there, have a scuffle. We'll have something to talk about post show, because they knew how boring this show was in the first place.
They'll be
Yeah.
fighting for $5 million in 6 months on a fucking pay per
Right,
view.
on Showtime. Yeah, so like honestly, the highlight of the show for me honestly was a performance by Busta Rhymes, which was unannounced previously. Yeah, so Busta Rhymes came back. This was the 40th anniversary of MTV. They kind of shoehorned it into this show, so they brought back artists of the past ages, like David Lee Roth was on there. They had Ashanti and Ja Rule. They had all kinds of
Fucking hate Ja Rule.
Yeah,
Ja Rule was in Cuyahoga Falls the other week. Did you guys see that?
They were filming
what the
a
fuck was
movie.
he doing? Is
They
that
were
what it
filming
was?
a movie here. Yeah, he was at that.
He was at that little like breakfast bakery place that's on the corner
Right at
on
Front
Front
Street.
Street.
Oh no shit!
He stayed
Yeah.
at the Sheraton.
Really?
Yeah, he was there, and there were some other celebrities in town for some movie. Or
I can only ever think of Dave Chappelle's 9/11 joke whenever he talks about Ja Rule.
Where is Ja?
dude? I fucking hate Ja Rule.
I think about that documentary that was released last year, that fucking Fighter Island or Fire Island,
I
whatever
watched
it's
that.
called.
That was good.
Yeah.
Firefest.
Yeah,
Festival.
Firefest. So Busta Rhymes was the highlight of the show for me, but going through some of these awards just real quick. Video of the year was won by Lil Nas X, Montero, Call Me Your Name. Justin Bieber took Artist of the Year. Olivia Rodrigo took Best New Artist and Best Song with Driver's License. Best Group went to BTS, and Best Pop Video went to Justin Bieber for his song Peaches.
Does anybody watch music videos?
That's what I was about to ask you. I didn't even know like people really still made music videos.
I think it's bigger with a YouTube kind of audience anymore. It's obviously not MTV because
Right.
I've looked all over
No.
their guide, and it's usually for ridiculousness or TV shows, Jersey
Right.
Shore. No, if
Trash.
you want to watch a music video, you go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Vimeo and YouTube. Vimeo, there's a.
I
there's
just
release
can't
on there.
imagine that they're pulling like I'm sure that there are like millions of views for these music videos, but it just doesn't seem like something anybody would do. Like who the
Right.
fuck is just sitting there watching a music video anymore?
Right.
Mhm.
It's a very 90s, early 2000s
I do.
thing.
Only
Do
Katy
you?
Katy Perry music videos.
I could not tell you the last music video that I watched.
Yeah, I've watched a couple. Like Doja Cat's another artist who I follow these days, and like her music videos are always a spectacle. Like they're bigger than the songs themselves. Olivia Rodrigo has some pretty cool videos too.
Did you see Doja Cat's fucking outfit she wore?
which one?
The fucking Met Gala one that she was
Oh.
looked like a fucking Quran or something, bro. What
Yeah,
the
A
fuck was that?
Quran? She
Yeah.
looks like a fucking Muslim religious book.
She wore a caterpillar outfit during the,
Is that
the
what
VMAs.
it was? Oh, that's what I think it was.
Okay, because she was hosting the VMAs and she came out in like
What the
8
fuck
different
was
outfits.
that, bro?
Oh, she's sexy as hell though.
Fucking weirdo. Quran.
Fucking Allah Akbar and shit on the red
Quran?
carpet.
Akbar.
Is it crayon or crayon?
It's crayon.
Let's transition to movies real quick. Netflix obviously has recently announced the news of a new Lara Croft film coming
Whack.
out. And this one is supposed to take place in the same realm as the last movie starring Alicia Vikander, although Alicia Vikander is not along for the ride this time. They have recast the titular role as Haley Atwell.
Yeah, you've
Whack.
you've downgraded your actress. She's not as good. So even if you've gotten better writing, you're not gonna have as good at acting.
No
She's a
one will top
TV
Angelina Jolie.
actor.
Angelina Jolie. She looked like Lara Croft.
Yeah.
She did.
I mean,
And those
obviously-
movies were terrible, but
She looked.
but
like
at least
Lara
she's a
Croft.
good actress who, if you wanted to, you could have made a decent movie out of that.
Yeah.
Like the whole fucking time distorted, turning the knife backwards shit. Like
Yeah, that's whack.
I wasn't too crazy about the Vikander one. I thought she did the role well, but I thought the movie itself was kind of
I
lackluster.
didn't see it.
Yeah, it was okay. It was very forgotten and pushed under the rug fast. In terms of where they're heading with this movie, I'm glad it's not an origin story because we've done that already with
Yeah.
2 different versions of this character. So I'm glad at least they're kind of continuing it. But I want to know why Alicia Vikander wasn't brought along.
I want to know why we're even trying to make fucking Tomb Raider movies.
I was about to ask you
anymore.
that. Is Tomb Raider even a thing?
Tomb
anymore?
Raider,
Are
like
there
they
video
made,
games?
they
Tomb
made
Raider
a
was-
video game.
It was cool as the video game when it came out forever ago. When
On
fucking
PlayStation
Dreamcast
1.
was a thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then it never had anything like on PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3.
No.
They had something on PlayStation 4 right at the end. Like I think you might have even been able to. I don't think there's a PlayStation 5 version, but there's a PlayStation 4 game, and apparently it was pretty good. But like
I feel like that
nobody
wasn't-
knows Tomb Raider.
people younger than our generation. I don't think it's anybody younger than us watch and
No.
play Tomb Raider.
No,
I haven't watched
Like
the Tomb Raider movie
Uncharted?
since Laura,
Since Angelina Jolie's.
Uncharted is coming out with a movie with Tom Holland, and that's like the updated
Yeah.
like
It's like a cool
mystery
yeah.
like I don't know what you would call it, like adventure fucking cave archaeological
Adventure
quest
thriller.
type of thing.
Yeah.
But like even that is something that is such a small like
Yeah.
if you're not a PlayStation person, you don't know that.
right.
Tomb Raider, Nobody fucking knows that anymore. It's a 30-year-old game.
I'm curious to see how that's gonna do.
Yeah.
When's it coming out?
They're just saying 2022 right now. No, like they haven't even started on production yet.
It's gonna be a fucking.
It's gonna be
flop, man. Yeah, it's
trash.
gonna be awful.
So we'll see what happens. So obviously with everything going on with COVID, we don't even like to talk about it too much anymore. But the biggest the biggest pain in the ass that we've received because of this is the loss of the relationship between Christopher Nolan and Warner Brothers, which was announced today. Nolan is leaving Warner Brothers, where he has made all of his movies up to this point, and he is leaving for Universal. This will include Nolan's upcoming film, a World War II epic about Oppenheimer, the man who created the atomic bomb. So yeah, big news here. Obviously, when you think about Warner Brothers, you kind of associate it with that Nolan name. You know, that's part of the thing that Warner Brothers was in a lot of trouble in the mid 90s, and Christopher Nolan kind of came along and saved that for them. You know, it made their studio prestigious again.
Why is he leaving?
He's leaving because they had decided to take everything to HBO, that whole HBO streaming
That's
thing
what I was
this
gonna
year.
say. I think it was something to do with streaming.
Yeah. So, you know, as a result of, you know, everything that happened with Tenet, obviously, like, he went to war for that movie to even be seen in theaters, and he felt the backing of Warner Brothers was very much needed for that.
Didn't Universal did something with streaming though, didn't they?
Well, they have a deal with AMC to where it's a 45-day window.
That's
though.
right. Okay.
So like their movies have to be in theaters for 45 days before they can go there. I'm sure Nolan's probably fine with that.
Yeah.
Because by then, if you're going to see a Christopher Nolan movie, you have to see it in the first 6 weeks. Yeah. So yeah, this is interesting. I certainly like the release. It reminds me a lot of his movie of Dunkirk, you know, because it takes place along the same time period. And with Universal, you know, here's a studio that's probably not as big as Warner Brothers, granted, but you know, I think they still have the budgets to throw around.
When I think Universal, though, I do not think of a Chris Nolan movie.
Yeah.
I think of like,
well, how can you? They've only been Warner Brothers to this point.
Giant, but like Universal is just big, huge, Fast and the Furious type movies.
Yeah.
They're just dumb action. There's not much. Like, when's the last time Universal came out with a movie that was just like, holy shit, this is an incredible movie. This is an Oscar level movie, or
God, yeah.
a historic, like people will talk about Inception and watch that movie forever.
Mhm.
That is a movie that will go down in film history with The Wizard of Oz and all of these other classics we've known to love.
Sure.
When's the last time Universal's had a movie like that outside of like the 90s when they put out some stuff like that?
But here's the thing, you can't fault them for going after Nolan, you know, because they're trying to update their umbrella of movies.
I just wonder if that is a fault of the production company, that's the niche that they've fallen into, or if that's just what they could get their hands on, because I don't want them to interfere at all with what Christopher Nolan is able to do.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously have to let the visionary work for sure. It's his films for a reason. That's why they put Nolan at the top of these films, sometimes bigger than the celebrities themselves that are in the movies.
And Nolan hasn't really blown me away with the last couple of things that he's made.
I wasn't crazy about Tenet. Like, I enjoyed it enough. I gave it an 8 out of 10 when I saw it. I have not rewatched it since, though.
Right. And that's something that you typically don't have happen with a Nolan film.
Yeah.
And I wasn't blown away by Dunkirk either.
Mm.
It was good.
Man, they were both so good.
But
Yeah,
it
I like
wasn't,
Dunkirk.
it's not nearly on par with the stuff that came before him, I don't think.
No, I agree. And you know, myself, I'm somebody who likes the more intimate stories too. Like The Prestige is my favorite Christopher Nolan
So
film. And I feel it's vastly underrated. But like, yeah, you're right. As far as, you know, films that will stand the test of time, it's the Interstellars, it's the Inceptions, you know. This man has already made a career for himself. He
100%.
could retire tomorrow and he would still go off as one of the greatest directors of all time.
I agree.
I think everybody agrees on that. But it's going to be interesting to see what he can do with a studio, like you said, with aforementioned problems in production. You know, they're known for these kind of big, dumb, stupid action summer blockbusters. But now you've got a man like Christopher Nolan who adds legitimacy to it in the same way he did with Warner Brothers when they were flailing during the mid 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Ryan, thoughts on this?
I mean, we'll see what happens when the movies come out. I really don't care what studio it's under as long as he's making something quality.
Mhm.
I've been always impressed with his movies. I thought Tenet was dope. I thought Dunkirk was dope. I watched Tenet, I think, once or twice since we saw it in theater. But I don't think it's not the type of story you're gonna watch. I mean, how often do you watch Interstellar even? And that movie's outstanding.
I've probably
It's
seen
just not like there's certain
I've
movies
probably
that,
watched it 8 to 12 times.
I was gonna say about
Yeah.
10 times.
yeah, and that's been out for a long time.
It's just a long movie.
Yeah. I think there's certain movies that can be a 10,
Mm-hmm.
or you might just not watch it because like the story isn't like rewatchable. You know, like
I
a
agree.
Batman, you're gonna watch that fucking
Murph.
forever, you know.
Murph.
But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm just excited to see him put out some new stuff. Maybe Universal will be new life, like Jesse said, as long as they let him do his thing.
Yeah.
And there's no hindering of his art, then cool.
Now, can
Let's just get some new
Universal
fucking
Studios
movies.
make an Inception ride? Is my question.
That would be dope.
Oh,
as
at their, you're saying at their theme park.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Sick.
Yeah,
Whole
would.
Nolan section.
Dark Knight Ride.
Dark Knight Ride. God damn.
I wonder what's
boy.
the licensing for something like that, because obviously it's his project, but it's also kind of Warner Brothers too.
Yeah, I don't think that they'd be able to pull it off, but
I don't know how that works. I mean, look at Disney with like Disney and Universal. Like Universal still has the Marvel Island at them, but now like Disney has Marvel, right? So they just created that whole Marvel world at the California Disney.
That is weird.
So
Yeah.
I don't know like if they have it for a certain period of time or if they have shared rights, since they at one point did. Like I was wondering that when Disney took over, I'm like, does that mean Universal Studios is going to have to close Marvel Island at their park? Right. Or what?
They probably pay them so much, like, because Disney owns the rights, obviously.
Now.
Yeah, but they probably go like, we'll rent it out to you for this amount of money each year. You pay us this much and you can go on doing
You would
this.
imagine though that Disney would be like, we have our own Marvel world now. Like, fuck you.
Right.
Like, shut your shit down or rebrand it, whatever, you know.
Well, Universal
call
still
something
has
new.
rights to some of those characters though. Like they still own the Hulk.
So they've got the Hulk ride. They've got the Hulk. They've got Spider-Man. They've got Doctor Doom.
They don't have Spider-Man anymore.
So they have
that's a Sony
Spider-Man
property
ride,
though.
Unfortunately.
So they probably pay for
some kind of rights
Sony
through
or some
there.
type of deal through them.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm curious how that works.
yeah, you're never going to see an Iron Man ride over there or anything like that.
Well, like has Jurassic Park always been Universal from the start?
100%.
Okay, I didn't know because they've got all like the Jurassic Park.
And that's
stuff
my thing.
there.
Universal used to be the studio.
Mhm.
I mean, it was all Paramount and Universal.
Yep.
And now neither one of those are worth shit. How the fuck does that happen?
Well, I think, Universal, for them, they took a turn with raunch comedies in the 90s. So like you had American Pie, obviously was under their umbrella.
Such a good
You
movie.
had, the first two are great.
The second one is my favorite one.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, the second one is
so
better.
good.
But like they took a chance on a lot of those and a lot of disciples of that kind of movie, which weren't as good as the American Pie movies. So I think, perception is everything. And it's like you and I, we're hardcore movie fans, but even the typical movie fan can look at something like Universal and say like, I associate them with a particular kind of taste. And for the most part, I don't like that taste.
Yeah.
So they won't see it based on that.
Do you think the casual moviegoer knows properties that are under different like production companies?
Probably not. Just like the legal stuff that we're talking about here as far as Christopher Nolan switching off to Universal.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to pick up on this story. Nobody's going to care for the most part who's a casual fan.
I'm totally blanking. What's the one with the horse and the girl with the fucking, it's like the Pegasus? What is that?
For Universal?
No, it's a separate production company.
Oh,
Your
I know.
Paramount,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Universal, and
about. It's like dun, 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 dun.
it
Yeah,
rides out.
Top Gun has it.
Oh,
Top Gun.
What
is
the
underneath
fuck is
it.
that? It was a big 90s one too. You don't
Yeah.
really see it much anymore.
Not MGM. It's
Who did Top Gun? It's Top Gun is under that production company.
It's also the woman with the like fucking, she looks like the Statue
TriStar?
of Liberty.
I don't know.
TriStar?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the unicorn comes out flapping its wings real slow.
in the clouds?
Yeah. What is that company called?
Oh God.
Look up Top Gun.
Look Who's Talking has that too.
Look who's talking.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to roll that
Oh
in.
my God. I forgot about that one.
Closing out the Nolan news though, with that movie, the Oppenheimer film that's coming out, he has made one casting choice already, and surprise, surprise, it's longtime Nolan associate Cillian Murphy is going to be in the movie. They have not declared whether it's the Oppenheimer role himself, but I think that would be perfect casting.
Nice. While Jesse's looking that up, I'm going to sidetrack.
Columbia.
Columbia.
Because you didn't have this on your thing, but I just saw it on Facebook.
I got another thing anyway.
Bel Air, they're doing a fucking Fresh Prince reboot.
I saw that.
Oh, a TV
Whack.
show? Really?
It's going to be on Peacock.
Peacock
Bel
is
Air.
fucking trash.
Yeah,
Bro.
as somebody who has it, I have to
I
say
don't
yes.
know a single one of these people. They have the whole cast.
Yeah, it's because they don't expect it to do good.
Jabari Banks as Will Smith or as Will.
I saw him. I didn't recognize
So
him.
a guy with the last name Banks
Yeah, it's
was cast in the Banks family.
bro. This looks awful. Yeah.
I'll
Anyways,
have to take a look at
will
that.
you
Can
wa-
we-
will
can
anyone
we
watch
fucking-
that?
No, can we stop
The
remaking
reboot
shit?
Why are we
Like-
in the like reboot era?
Well,
We're
even,
in like the
even
era
that,
of
like
reboots.
I don't
hate
need
it.
I
Because
don't need
people
a Top
love
Gun.
nostalgia. They're attached to nostalgia.
This looks like trash.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Straight trash.
I don't need a Top Gun fucking
That I'm
sequel.
excited about.
No, it's not
Guilty.
necessary though. You have fantastic classic movies, and then you get ruined. Like Jurassic Park is one of the greatest pieces of filmmaking ever. Every single sequel is dog shit, and
Yeah.
yet they're still just capitalizing on money. It's fucking terrible.
I don't need a Turner and Hooch reboot.
No.
With Josh Peck, some of them are decent, but like they do these terrible, like the Turner and Hooch,
Mhm.
these terrible tacky spin-offs that
Yeah.
are just awful, man.
They were a
This Fresh
product of their
Prince is gonna be
time.
terrible.
Even
I
movies
agree.
like Top Gun, though, that movie is going to come out and everybody's going to be like, wow, that was great because it's going to look good and everything else. It's not going to hold up.
The
You're
interesting
not
thing-
going to be like, man, I love the Top Gun series.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about Top Gun and that's going to get forgotten in 5 years.
That's going to be like a one-off though, like a one-off remake, like where Jurassic Park, like you said, they started a whole new series of that. Probably
even-
wasn't necessary.
Even Jurassic Park 2 and 3 are
Oh no,
shit.
I agree. I'm saying the Top Gun's going to be a one-off remake of the original or extension of the original, and it might be okay. It'll be fun to watch, but they can't go on to make like a whole new thing with that. It would just be corny. So what you're saying about it not holding up, from what I heard, is that they are reusing a lot of footage from the original for
Well,
like flight scenes and
The
stuff.
original, they actually used real like flights and
They're
shit.
doing that in this one too. Like they're actually in the
He learned how to fly a fucking fighter jet, didn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Like
wild,
like the
dude.
scenes where they're up in the air, that's legitimate.
Yeah.
Like that's not computer generated or anything.
Yeah, they
which is
apparently can
sick.
only get like so much coverage or footage though of like the in-air stuff.
Yeah.
So they had to like reuse footage and like redo it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I have to see the movie, but
To your guys' argument, like the one thing that I look toward as far as positivity goes in that realm is like Blade Runner 2049. So like granted,
Dope.
it's a sequel, but it's one that came out. It was like
A long
about
time
30
after.
years after the first one came out.
A little bit more than that, I think.
To me, why I was fine with that, not only do I love the movie, it's fucking great, but like on top of it, it enhances the story. So it takes elements of the first film and it expands them even further. I feel like in those cases, that's fine. I'd rather have a sequel that remains faithful to the first film
Yeah.
and says like, look, we showed you something in the first movie. Here's something greater about it though.
And that's a very, very small exception of the rule.
It's
I
a
think,
rarity.
because
Yeah, I agree.
I think that Blade Runner was so ahead of its time
Mhm.
that they weren't capable of pulling off in the 80s. I think it was the 80s movie, like what they could do now,
Right.
where you can keep those concepts of the story. And if you have somebody that's really true to what it is, you're going to be good. Like the Matrix that's coming out. That's either
we'll
going
talk
to
about
be
it here in a minute.
Yeah. And that's either going to be incredible
Mhm.
or it is going to be they don't understand the concepts. This person who is, I mean, it's done by the same
The Wachowski.
Yeah. We'll get to it, but it's just like either people butcher things because they're like, I really like this movie and I want to make a cool version, and they do whatever they want,
Mhm.
or you have people who are really true to the content, and then they make something that is like a Blade Runner 2049 that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have any remakes that were better than the original?
No.
The Thing.
The Thing?
Mhm.
Jesse said no.
Well,
No remakes that you're like, yes, this is dope.
Scarface.
I always forget that The Thing is a remake,
Scarface.
but those are remakes of movies that came out in like the fucking 50s.
Is it a remake?
It's a remake.
By
It's a
definition.
remake. Yes.
So that's what you gotta think. That's what people that are watching the remakes
Are-
now
Are there
thinking,
any
because
modern remakes that are better than the originals though?
Give me a time frame.
80s
From
to
the
now?
90s to now.
80s to now.
No, because the 80s is one of the greatest eras of movie.
Yeah, I'm saying any
Fucking
remake, anything that was made in the
Evil
80s
Dead.
to now.
Really?
Yes. I think the newest Evil Dead is the best in the whole series.
No shit.
Yes.
I never saw it.
Yes. I love the first
Simply
two.
because I was like, this is gonna be bullshit. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I love the first two, but the way that they elevate the violence and the mayhem of this movie, the special effects are off the wall, and a lot of them
Yeah.
are practical too in the newest movie.
I do love that. I love practical effects.
Yeah, I'm sure there's others. I was trying to think of the movies that I've reviewed, which surprised me. Right now I'm drawing
gonna
a blank.
Google best remakes real quick.
I'm sure there's some though, but yeah, it happens. It's just a rarity.
Right.
So
Anyways.
rounding off here, we're going to do a little trailer talk here for two properties that dropped this week. So the first one is going to be, obviously Jesse already kind of alluded to it, The Matrix Resurrection. So the last movie we had was 2003. That was Matrix Revolutions, and this is 18 years later. Guys, you both saw this trailer, right?
Yeah.
No?
Like 15 times.
Okay. I didn't even know they were making a new one. Is it an extension or a remake?
It's a sequel.
Yeah, it's a
So
sequel.
it's a redo of the original story.
No, it
Or
looks
it's a continuation.
Matrix 4.
but there's parts where it does kind of look like the first movie, though, to where like it looks like storyline wise they're going that same route. Yeah,
It's exciting.
so basically, before I let Jesse loose here on his thoughts,
Don't let the man loose.
Chomping at the bit.
so going through the trailer, Neo is obviously living in New York City. He has no idea about the Matrix or anything. It's like his mind is completely blank
Is it
now.
Keanu?
After he got out of all the casting's the same except Morpheus,
Which it's not a remake of Morpheus, so it's just new character.
Yeah. It's the guy from Candyman. So anyway, he's living in New York City, but he starts to have these visions, like Morpheus visits him again, and then he starts remembering. It starts clicking to him all the same. He runs into Carrie-Anne Moss, who was Trinity. Yeah. So he runs into Trinity at a coffee shop, and they kind of brush by each other, and they kind of have these like flashbacks. And it's like, do I know you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's little things here and there that's like, winks and nods to the first trilogy. So Jesse and I got to see the trailer. Jesse, I'm going to let you go ahead first. What do you think?
I mean, the trailer really doesn't show you much, which I love.
Me too.
All that we know is for some reason, Neo doesn't remember basically saving humanity. It seems everybody's back in the Matrix and that they're going to be pulling Neo and Trinity out.
Yeah.
Neo is still all powerful, which he realizes very, very quickly. And other than that, we don't know what happened. We don't know how the agents have come back. We don't know how the Matrix is still a thing, because I haven't watched them in a while, but my understanding is I thought he destroyed the Matrix at the end of the third.
Well, he did, but they said as a result of that, you're not going to remember anything that happens after this. Like you're going to be, essentially the Matrix to you never existed.
Which is fine, but how did the Matrix come back to being is my thing.
That's why that's the fourth film. We're going to find out.
And I think it looks really good. There were a couple of things that special effects wise, like the girl jumping down and on the corner of the building, breaking that and like kind of parkouring off.
Looks like the first film in that regard. He did a similar trick in that one. And in the third one, he did that same one. Yeah.
We didn't see any like bullet dodging, but we did see him stopping bullets like he did in the second Matrix, I believe. I don't think he did it in the first one. And also like curving a rocket into a helicopter. So like he's definitely like really powerful, like even more so than we've ever seen.
Like you said, he still feels those things. It's almost like body memory, like muscle memory,
right?
That he remembers these things. He doesn't know how they're incorporated into his life, but he still has those feelings of how to defend himself.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. There's enough stuff in it. I'm hoping it's not a complete ripoff. From what we see, like we see that he follows the White Rabbit, he takes the pill, like they showed us that type of stuff. I hope that that's just like a very quick, like, this is a little bit of a flashback for you, Neo, but it's still a new movie. If it's just like nostalgia porn, it's not going to work. And I really, really want this to be a continuation, a great film moving forward for the Matrix like franchise.
Yeah, Jesse touched on a lot of my feelings too. So first of all, I love that this trailer is mostly ambiguous. It shows you a bunch of things, but at the same time, it doesn't add context to them. So like you're scrambling to put these pieces together, how they all fit perfectly with one another. I do like the Morpheus casting because I like that guy as an actor. I felt in Candyman he did a solid job, and I can't wait to see what he does in this particular role.
Is he Morpheus?
Yes.
Oh, he is
Morpheus.
Morpheus.
I read the production notes. He is Morpheus.
Yeah, I don't like that. But that's okay.
But we don't know how that works. It could be a Morpheus is descended every 10 years.
And
or
we've had other things where like the Oracle was recast and shit in the originals, and you just had to accept it. So I don't have a huge issue with it. It's the Matrix. You could easily reprogram his looks or some shit and be fine.
They got the heart back. Like they have Carrie-Anne Moss, they have Keanu Reeves. Right. That's the important thing. If I had between that or Lawrence Fishburne, I'm taking Keanu Reeves, in my opinion. I know Larry had a big part of that role.
I love Morpheus more than I do Trinity, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. But as far as the trailer itself goes, I think it was pretty well done. The one small gripe that I had about it, which is silly and when you think about it, I wish they would cut his hair because it makes it look like John Wick. It just looks like a John Wick movie.
He needs to have the short hair. Yeah. He needs to look like Neo.
I can't see him as anything other than John Wick, especially when his hair is exactly like John Wick.
My only thing is maybe, just like in the original ones, he goes in and then you become a embodiment of how you picture yourself. And that's when they get in their whole like leather drab and like all that other shit. Maybe once he accepts everything, he'll become that short-haired, like badass Neo, because that's how he pictures himself in the Matrix type of thing.
Yeah. And as far as things I want to see with this movie, like, yeah, obviously what Jesse said, I want to see a fresh story. I don't want to see something that's, reheated room service from the previous films. First of all, I only like the first movie. I don't like the second or third.
I think the second one is okay. I hate the third.
Yeah, third one is a superhero movie, and by then it got so blown out of proportion, and it was ridiculous. So I want to see this kind of intimate story, and I also want to see an evolution of technology. So like the first Matrix was really at the cusp of like DVD and homemade cinema and all that. Like it really took the special effects in a different direction and pushed computer generation as something that felt attainable for once.
Yeah.
I want to see that again. I want to see the next step in that evolution.
Yeah, like the 360 shot with Trinity when she jumps up and freezes. Nobody had ever seen that before.
Perfectly put. Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with you there. I think that it needs to be something that revolutionizes, whether it's a shot, whether it's a key type of thing. Like there are signature things like the Trinity kick, like the dodging bullets that is only known as the Matrix. That's been copied time and time again.
How many times has that been derivative from other properties? Even if it's a spoof, even if it's
in
a
fucking Shrek.
Movie. Yeah.
Like it doesn't happen without the Matrix. We need something else like that.
Yep.
And one last thing that I thought about the trailer, perfect sound choice. The music was fantastic.
Yeah, Jefferson Airplane. Yeah, I agree. And you've heard that song in like Alice Through the Looking Glass, a couple other trailers too, but I think in Matrix it works particularly well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. And then the second trailer that I wanted to talk about was the newest series from Disney Plus, Hawkeye.
Why do you want to talk about this one?
I got kind of a soft spot for this one. Just based on
soft spot,
based on the casting choices alone. So this trailer, Hawkeye stars obviously Jeremy
Irons.
No. Why am I drawing a blank there? Jeremy
I want to say Reynolds, but I don't think
Renner. So Jeremy Renner.
Who do you really care about, Chris?
I know, right? And I love Jeremy Renner too.
Me too.
Honestly, Hawkeye is my favorite Avenger, and I've gotten a lot of shit for that. But I've always wanted a movie with Hawkeye because he's human. I draw more to the human characters. So basically, this series picks up. It looks like right after Endgame, as far as the trailer goes, because he talks about that persona that he took on while he was in Japan. Ronin, yeah. And that killer is roaming the streets again, and he's fighting crime and all that. But it's not him, obviously.
Right.
So he goes to Japan, he wants to see who it is. He unmasks this person, and it ends up being Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, who is another big comic character from the Hawkeye lore. And Kate Bishop is Haley Steinfeld in real life. Amazing casting, but I'm not going to tell you why. I just think I love these two's dynamics together. The trailer itself, mostly comedy, but it's got a Christmas essence to it too.
I love that it's going to be a Christmas show.
Me too. And I think that's different. That's that different thing that we're talking about with Marvel. So like, this is just a TV show, but at the same time, it has to be different from Hawkeye or from the other properties.
Loki and WandaVision and all that other stuff.
And I think the Christmas essence is really in that way. And I feel like this one will refine the storyline better than the other shows did. So in other words, it will add to the Avengers lore, like as far as Endgame goes and everything it's kind of installed since, let's be honest. So I feel like this will be a tier that will help that. And it drops November 22nd or 24th. Sorry.
I can't wait. I think that it being a Christmas thing is perfect. I like that they're kind of like honing in on these different holidays and concepts and things like that. Giving us some year-round entertainment that's still quality, but like I don't know. I just think that it's nice to have like it's gonna be like Die Hard almost.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily Christmas, it's just Christmas time, but you're still gonna get those feels somewhere along the line.
And they said like the show is rated PG-13, they've already said, but it has kind of like an R twist to it too. Like certain parts in the show, Haley Steinfeld obviously yells shit, and there's violence, and the action looks solid. The gags look wonderfully done, and I love the dynamic between them. I feel like the chemistry.
Yeah, I thought that they knew each other already, so I kind of like
the characters or them as actors.
Yeah, no, the characters. I thought that they went in knowing each other. I didn't know anything about what the story was going to be like, so I kind of like that he just kind of stumbles onto her and is like, "No, I'm going to take you under my wing," because that's always been his thing.
Yeah,
like he did the same thing with Wanda, and he kind of like said like, you were kind of a dick, but I'm going to turn you into Avenger. Like he's been like a mentor along the way. He kind of grounded Black Widow a little bit. So like it's true to his character that he wouldn't just be like, you know, I'm taking you in. Like he's going to teach her how to be a good force for good. And like, I don't know. I like that. I think that they're doing a good job with continuity and stuff along the way.
I want to say something on that, but I wanted to ask you, did you get to see this trailer
Which one?
for Hawkeye?
I did not.
No.
I sent it.
I haven't seen any trailers.
Jeez.
Much like you though, he's my favorite character. I am stoked for this.
Hawkeye's your favorite character?
Mhm. I love Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I really like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah,
I think
me
that's
too.
part of the reason I like his character
Since
so much.
National Lampoon Senior Trip, dude.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
been my boy.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the movie in itself just because I wanted something more focused on him, and I don't think he gets that much love in any of the movies. Like
No,
he's
he
very
does not.
like secondary or background.
He was
So yeah,
okay in Ultron.
yeah. I mean, he's had his
had his
moments,
moments.
but just nothing like they haven't really given him any kind of spotlight. He's always just been like there as part of the Avengers.
Background
which is
noise.
Weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not like anything. You could take him out of any movie, and I don't think it would affect anything. They haven't given him much of.
I agree with that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to it just in the essence of I really enjoy him, and I think it will be cool to see. And that one girl looks nice too.
Haley
so,
Steinfeld. Certainly
um,
easy on the eyes.
yeah, I'm pumped for that. And Matrix, I didn't really comment, but I don't think I've seen any of them but the first one.
Oh, really?
That's all you need.
So
yeah, dude, you are living the high life right
yeah,
now.
I can't like I'm trying to think of the last time I watched one of them.
The second one is
And I'm
kind of
pretty
cool.
sure it's just the original, and it's been forever. And when you said he looked like John Wick, well, John Wick's better than Matrix anyway.
Oh, I agree.
Whoa.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I agree.
Whoa.
The first John Wick
John
movie,
Wick
I
is
was so into.
fucking dope, bro.
Holy shit.
John Wick is better than
Let's
the
pump,
Matrix.
let's pump the fucking
They could
brakes.
have just made another John Wick. And
The Matrix. The Matrix changed cinema.
Doesn't
John
mean-
Wick did
No
not.
doubt. No.
Yeah.
We're not talking about legacy. The
Better
Matrix
movie.
legacy is far superior to
The
that of
first Matrix is better than the first John Wick.
Nah, John Wick is out. Take all the movies as a whole, which is better.
John Wick, but that's because
Okay. Anyways, move on.
No,
Chris.
that's
three
because
good
the-
movies,
that's-
one good
that's
movie.
Yeah.
because the third fucking Matrix is dog shit, and the
Hey,
second one is just okay.
John Wick
Second one
is
ain't
The
easily
first
better than the
Matrix is one
Matrix.
of the greatest pieces of cinema ever. It's super original. It was a brand new concept. It was shot beautifully. The acting was perfect. The story was perfect. The Matrix, I am disappointed in you.
John Wick is
In
so
you.
good.
Oh my God.
Ouch.
Hot take.
Um,
John Wick is way better. I'll put it to a poll. If you're listening or watching, check the Facebook. Let us know what
Cool.
you think.
back on Hawkeye for a second.
Yes, Hawkeye looks
Fuck
dope.
me. God damn.
I wanted to add something to what Jesse said. So basically another arc that isn't addressed in this trailer, and thank God, because we don't need that addressed right now. Post Black Widow. So we know Florence Pugh's character is coming after Jeremy Renner. We know she's coming after Hawkeye.
She's sexy.
And that's going to add an interesting dynamic. I honestly feel like that's going to happen at the end of this series. Like she's going to appear in the last episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like that'll set up maybe season 2 or something like that, which has already been confirmed. There's going to be at least 2 seasons of Hawkeye. So to me, I think that will be interesting. That'll have them do their own little entanglement over here, you know, while the movies are happening with like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange over here. So it's cool. They're adding many layers to the universe, and this looks good. Like far beyond me being a fan of Haley Steinfeld, I think it legitimately looks like a fun property.
Question for Ryan, because I already know your answer.
Okay.
Haley Steinfeld or Florence Pugh?
Oh, that's dirty.
Gotta
That's
choose
hard,
only one.
bro.
They're both gorgeous.
Wow.
You know who I would though.
Yeah.
Wow.
If it's Haley versus anybody, it's
Fuck.
Haley for me.
I think Florence Pugh.
Me too, bro.
Thanks,
Let's
Florence
fucking
Pugh.
go.
I love Haley. I mean, she is sexy,
Mhm.
but there's something about Florence.
Thickness and that personality.
Yeah, just I don't know. She just seems like the thickness for one.
Deuce
I
McThickums.
I
bro.
like I like a little meat on my wings, and I don't know. There's something about her, man, especially in Black Widow. Like she's just like a badass.
Dude,
love
I am
The
not a
accent, too.
blondes person.
accent,
Like
yeah.
I'm not a blonde guy.
Yeah,
I like them dark-haired girls, but for whatever reason, Florence Pugh just like
yeah. She's just sexy, bro. Florence Pugh is sexy.
The best she looks is Fighting with My Family. She has that movie based
Yes,
on
bro.
Paige, the
I
WWE
bought
wrestler.
that because of her.
Yeah, dude.
I own that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, she's definitely attractive. Dude, I'm not gonna lie though, I dig Haley's blonde hair.
Yeah, she looks good.
She looks good.
Dyed it today for the what was it? The Italian fashion show.
Yeah, she looks completely different.
Yeah.
I think part of it's the haircut, but the blonde, she looks way different. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Florence Pugh.
I'm not kicking her out.
Shoot, bro. All right. What else we got?
That's it. That's it for Hollywood Report.
Hollywood Report. All right, we gonna go to sports.
Sports.
Slow down, line to deep left field. It is 45-40. Run, William, run. 20-15. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
This is locker room talk.
You know which soundbite you need on there now.
What's that?
Baker interception.
Wow.
Do we got to update those at some
We'll see
point?
if you guys are talking at the end of the year.
Do we add? Do we need to add or edit, change any of those? We gotta
What, any of
Update our
those?
sound
No,
bites.
those
I
are
like them. They're
classics.
Play it one more time.
Hey.
Those are some of the most classic
Jesse can repeat
Cleveland
it word for word.
calls. Yeah.
I think it sounds good.
What's new in the wide world of sports? 0 and 1.
Football's back. Football's back.
It's fucking bittersweet.
Dude, what's bitter about it?
It's cool. Like, I love football. Favorite sport to watch by far. It's a great time
Winter.
of year, but it's just sad that like it's already for football time. It just seems like
Football-
the year flew by.
Football's
It's
what
gonna be
takes you
cold
through
soon.
the winter, man.
No, I agree. Football's dope, but I'm still sad.
But I agree with you. I don't like that shit either.
I'm
As
just
far as
sad.
knowing the season, I
It's
wish-
like because
the beginning of football takes you into fall, though, which is the best
dope.
season of the year.
Football kicking off is dope because football starts, which is so fun to watch, and then we get into Halloween, which is the best time of the year by
We've
far.
already decorated.
But then after that, it just is downhill, and then it's like, fuck, I can't wait till April to come.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't think things get really shitty until January, though.
Yeah,
Like, we
that's
haven't had a
true.
very strong winter up until like our Christmases haven't even had snow for the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
keep
Like
it that way.
we're pretty solid sitting in that 50-degree range, and then January hits, and
Yeah.
then January to March is like fucking.
It's
kill
like
me.
our summers go, and then it hits winter. Like we have like a 1 or 2 week spring or fall.
Yeah.
Like it's still
because we
real
don't have
hot.
spring.
Yeah.
We skip spring,
Yeah,
and we go
that's-
straight to summer.
spring and fall are the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which fall's dope. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, football's dope.
Football's back. We have had one of the greatest starts to the NFL season that I can remember in easily the last decade.
Agreed.
We started off with the Buccaneers against the Cowboys. Christopher, what would you like to say about that game?
You know what? I'm proud of my team. I thought they fought their ass off, like a lot better than I thought they were going to, because I picked that game at 38-30. And to me, to only lose by 2, and we had a legitimate chance to win that game, you know, had our defense actually woken up for a play. But you know, you can't be mad. You're playing the Super Bowl champions, your first game of the season, you know. So to me, they did the best they could. The offense looks amazing.
Offense looks
The
fantastic.
defense needs help. That's always been the case for the last decade. I'm happy with it. Honestly, I'll be more concerned if we lose to the Chargers this week.
Wow.
I'll tell you
Can we
what.
just pause for 1 second?
What?
That was the nicest, most positive thing
It's
Chris
the greatest
has
thing he's ever said about the Cowboys.
ever.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Well, we'll follow it up next week. We'll see what happens.
is it because of Blues Clues? Did he come back and make you feel good?
I was crying watching Facebook.
Dude, that was the nicest, most positive message Chris has ever said about the Browns.
Hey, they look. They fought with heart. They lost by 2 to the champions. I'm not mad. If they would have lost by 30, you would have heard me say they suck.
of
They
course.
rolled over for Brady.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Two biggest observations I got from that game. Micah Parsons is legit.
Yeah, I agree.
Even on plays that he wasn't getting stuff in the stats, he was right there. I
Everywhere.
mean, that dude is right by the ball. Some dude told me I got ripped off because I gave 2 first rounders for him in an IDP league.
Mhm.
Totally happy to have him. That dude's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
Second, I don't know what the fuck Zeke did to piss them off, but all that stuff on Hard Knocks where they were talking about how Ezekiel Elliott is ready for the season. He's going to be blah, blah, blah. And then they didn't fucking use him like at all.
No.
I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Well, it was the same problem that they did in the first 5 games last year before Dak got injured, and it's that they gave up on the run too early. Now I know the run wasn't working for them for the most part. They're going against one of the best run defenses in the league.
yeah.
But to my thing is the third quarter is where you really pound that. You
It's-
tire them out.
It's Ezekiel Elliott too. Like
yeah.
I
You're paying
get,
him for a reason.
I get that they're the top running defense and stuff, but like you have a top 5 running back in the NFL. You utilize that.
Mhm.
Do you
You
think
go
he's
after
done
them.
do you think he's done what we thought that people thought he was going to do in the NFL?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Mhm.
Oh, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't really live up to like what people thought.
I feel like
Last
he had 2
year-
really good years there, but he has to turn it on.
What year is this? This is year 5.
This is year
Correct?
5, yeah.
His first 4 years, first 3 years were fantastic. He was one of the best, if not the best running back in the league. I personally think. fourth year, they say was a big, like, he didn't really live up. He was still a 1,000-yard rusher. Last year, everybody talks about how Zeke was falling off. Zeke was a fucking top 10 running back last year. And then you come in this year, they didn't utilize him at all, which McCarthy, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, whatever. But I mean, if they figure out how to go with that, set up some play action and everything like that, if CD can catch the ball, you guys are going to be a dangerous offense. You might not even need to have a top tier defense.
And with that fourth year, as far as Zeke being still a 1,000-yard rusher, the parallel to that is that at that time, we didn't even have Amari Cooper. He was the first great receiver. That was at a time where Dallas couldn't score touchdowns, and we were looking for a receiver anywhere we could get it. We had the worst receiving core, and now we're like arguably the best receiving core in football.
It's definitely top 3, I would say, at the least.
So like that's the parallel, is like we were still a running team. We were still pounding to Zeke. Now it's like we've forgotten about him, and you're paying that guy $93 million, I think it is. Like, it's wasted money.
On top of that, too, like you have Tony Pollard behind him, who Tony Pollard is a fantastic backup in the NFL.
He can go.
I think that they're going to be okay. The defense, I think, is still a couple pieces away from being an elite defense. You're still going to be middle of the pack, but that's all you need if you have a top tier offense.
Yeah.
Because you've got to win a shootout against the Chiefs if you're going to win a Super Bowl, is ultimately what it's going to come down to.
I think we have the offense to compete with the Kansas City team, but I don't think we have the defense. I think our defense has to tighten up a little bit. Not that their defense is anything special, which we'll talk about that.
But your guys are locked up for the foreseeable future. Your main guys, you add a couple pieces to that defense. I think you guys are contenders, not this year, but I could see you're not very far away. Depends on how the offseason goes, but you could be a year away.
I said 11 wins this year, and I said we win the division if we stay healthy.
100%. I think I picked the Redskins to win, but it's just because of a feeling. It's not more so. I mean, I would not be shocked if you won by 2 games even. Yeah. So that started us off. Fantastic game. They go down, they hit the go-ahead field goal. Brady obviously has enough time, a minute and a half, goes down and ties it up. You had a feeling it was going to go, but I still think it was the right decision to kick the field goal. You got to take the lead and hope that your defense can do something. And that takes us to Sunday.
Dog check.
God damn, is Sunday not some of the greatest football that I have ever seen? Browns played against the Chiefs.
It was great football.
Yeah.
Dude, you can be smug all you want. You guys are going to win 7 games. I'm sticking by it. Actually,
you said 6.
It's 6, 6, 6, 6.
Yeah, you said 6.
You'll lose to the Raiders.
6,
going
6,
up now.
6, 6, 6. We played the Chiefs, my Brownies. We went out. We were punching them in the mouth. We were dominating them. They made some halftime adjustments. They took away Schwartz, which was the deep threat. We did not have Odell.
And Schwartz looked good for what little.
Odell didn't play?
No, Odell didn't play.
Why?
He has a lingering knee injury from last year.
Big comeback season, Odell.
He's still going to be great.
Still going to be great. He's not even playing.
He's going to be great.
Such a bum.
He's going to be great. Chubb looked fantastic. Hunt looked fantastic. Baker played incredible. I don't give a fuck what you say about that interception at the end. He was trying to throw the ball out of the bounds. He got tripped up on his feet, lost some of the force behind it through a untimely pick. But I mean, that team, we competed with the best team in the league, and I have no doubt that we can compete with anybody in the entire league right now.
Well, and you look at it, so a lot of the complaints with the first time you guys played them in the playoffs last year was that, well, you only played for half of Mahomes and he only played for a half. This one you played for a whole Mahomes and you were still very much in this game. It looked like you were going to win until about the final 3 minutes.
And Baker outplayed Patrick Mahomes for 3/4 of that game.
I agree with that.
And when you get into the end, you want to tell Gabe to shut the fuck up?
Oh shit, dude.
We had 3 major costly mistakes. The Chubb fumble, which we ended up recovering from. They didn't score, and then we came back and we scored off of it.
That was the biggest surprise to me.
Jamie Gillum dropping the punt and then trying to run with it was huge. They got a touchdown off of that drive. Yeah. That was a huge momentum swing that put us behind. And then obviously the Baker interception that sealed it. Up until that point, I mean, Baker was the throw to Njoku was one of the best throws that I have seen in the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And not just for the Browns. I'm talking in general. That thing was perfect in stride, dropped it right down the chimney. I mean, that looked like a practice throw, and it was beautiful.
Did he hit 300? Because I know he was
311 yards.
Was it? Okay, because I saw he was at 279 going into the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 311 yards. He threw 1 pick, no touchdowns. We had 4 rushing touchdowns. Jarvis Landry had a rushing touchdown. Chubb had 2, and then I think Hunt had the last one.
That boy Jarvis. I say it every year. That boy Jarvis. That's my man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Jarvis is a weapon.
How did Miles look?
Miles got a sack. He was in on a ton of plays, lots of pressures. Jadeveon Clowney had a couple of good plays.
Yeah. He looked mobile too. Looked very mobile.
He did. They had that end around to Tyreek Hill last year. That's a 30-yard play, and he got him for a 6-yard loss.
Yeah. And they went and they pounded to Tyreek so much in that first half. It was like every throw was Kelsey, Tyreek, Kelsey, Tyreek, Kelsey, Tyreek.
Yeah. And that was the biggest thing for me. I think that they should have had Ward follow Tyreek everywhere for the game. I know that that's not our defensive scheme, and they got to trust our defense and everything. But like John Johnson looked great. Denzel Ward looked great. Even Ronnie Harrison, before he got kicked out for the whole incident with the coach, he had like 3 tackles in the first couple minutes.
So what's your honest opinion on that?
I think that you have to have the wherewithal to know that in the NFL, the person that retaliates is the person that gets caught. Yeah. I do think because we have replay and we do see that the coach pushed him, I think that he should have some type of ramifications, whether that's a fine. He got nothing. No suspensions, no fines, no nothing. I know that JC Treader, as the head of the NFL Players Association, he's pushing for some form of discipline for him. Whether or not that happens, I doubt something will happen. As a coach, you shouldn't be touching players that aren't your own. And as a player, you can't retaliate. That's just, you got to know that. I think that we still have, as much as Stefanski is a level-headed coach that doesn't show any emotion, and a lot of times your team reflects that, we are still a very, I don't want to say emotional because that seems almost like you don't have control, but like we are very much of a, we're going to fight back no matter what type of team. And
I mean, if you're in that position though, are you shoving back? I am
100%.
I'm shoving back.
Yeah.
But if someone pushes me like that, especially a coach,
it's not your coach.
I'm definitely fucking tossing back at you.
But that ultimately
it's not the right thing to do. But I mean, if you're in that position, I'm definitely fucking throwing hands with you.
It's ultimately your coaching though. I mean, Stefanski's going to go back and he's going to say, you can't fucking do this. And I don't expect for us to,
of course,
going forward. I don't. But in the heat of the moment, I mean, obviously everybody is going to push somebody back. You made a tackle. You're not doing anything wrong. Some random guy comes up from the sideline and pushes you. Yeah. You're going to push him back. Can you do that still? No, it's still on him. I'm not going to say that he wasn't wrong, because he was. And in the NFL, it doesn't matter. I'll pop you in the jaw. You're going to pop me back. They're going to get you first.
My thing is, I'll wait till after the game when we're shaking hands, in the middle of the field. And I go, you ever fucking touch me again, I'm going to break your leg.
Yeah. Right. I think he's going to be fine, though. And I think that the Browns are going to be fine. We've got a simple, decent schedule coming up. We got like the Texans next week. And then after that, it's pretty basic.
That's the thing. Like, as far as the schedule goes, the home opener against the Texans. Now, I know they look good against Jacksonville, but that's not really saying much. Yeah. But like the Texans, that's a great opener to have, like, to get the momentum firing in the crowd, to get your confidence building after a tough loss that, honestly, you were in for 3 of the quarters. It could be the perfect momentum swing to get right back on and, go for the next roll.
Well, that's the thing, is like, we played really well in this game. Last year, we got completely the brakes blown off of us by the Ravens, and everybody was saying same old Browns. They haven't learned anything. It's just like Freddie. Who's this new coach? He's not doing shit. And then we rattled off 3 straight wins, and we went on to win 11 games. I still think we're going to win 13 games. I didn't expect for us to win this game. I said I wouldn't be shocked if we did, but this is the best team in the NFL, regardless of whether or not they beat the Bucs in the playoffs.
It's the toughest game on your schedule.
100%. Yeah. And we stood right there with them until the very end.
And it's tough to, as I said with the Cowboys, it's tough to come out the first game of the season and face the best team right off the bat.
And not only the best team right off the bat, but in their stadium, which is probably a top 3 loudest stadiums, hardest places to play in the NFL.
I'd say yeah.
So, I mean, the Browns are going to be okay. They're going to continue on. We're going to beat up on the Texans. I would be, if we lose to the Texans, now you got to start talking about some shit.
That's the Charger game for me. That's what I'm saying.
But I think that we should win. And then we're just going from there. The Steelers played against the Bills. Mm-hmm. The Bills looked fucking awful. I don't think the Steelers looked great either. Offensively, the defense looks fantastic. TJ Watt looks like he's worth every penny, but your offense is trash. Ben threw for 7 yards a throw. He's awful. It was terrible. He's looking at the exact same thing. You guys did not have a single deep completion in the entire game. I pulled the stats.
Did we get one? Did we win?
No. I'm just saying.
We won. That's all.
I'm just saying.
You can give me the ugliest game, and all I know is we got a W and you didn't. And we're starting the season off great.
I'll
take
one deep pass in the entire game.
You don't have to. You just got to win.
Najee Harris.
All you got to do is win. It don't matter if you're doing little side tosses. Look at fucking your boy Lamar Jackson. You think he's awful, and they fucking do great.
They lost.
Yeah.
They lost, and his yards per throw were even less than fucking Ben's.
Hey, we could have thrown a real far pass and then fucking threw an interception like your boy, but
you probably would have. You probably would have.
We won.
You won off of a special teams fucking buff.
Great. We won.
Your offense is trash.
We won. That's all that matters.
You want to bet records?
We already did.
You want to bet records?
We did.
What's the bet?
The bet was that whoever was the closest was going to be the boat bitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You're definitely
yeah,
gonna be my
that's
boat bitch because that
No.
offense looks like fucking trash.
We are going to have you said 6 and 11.
Najee Harris is
And I
averaging
said
3
9
yards a
and-
carry.
I said 9 and 8.
Trash.
So there's a 3-game spread. So
I just want to throw this out there. I said this on the casuals the one week. I think that Najee Harris is going to have decent stats at the end of the year as a totality, whether that's 1,100 yards and whatever, or something like that. But he is going to have a terrible yards per carry. He's going to just be a guy that got utilized like Leonard Fournette his rookie year, who was not efficient, who was trash, but he just accumulated things off of 350 touches.
Yeah, I think Zeke to a certain degree too. I mean that fourth year.
Yeah,
Because it was nothing but
the
running.
fourth year for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I can just say one thing about this game, I'm not gonna touch that argument, but I just want to say the Bills losing puts the Dolphins in first place. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Everybody laughing at that prediction.
I know.
Kiss my ass.
I had Bills to the Super Bowl, and I don't know about that anymore.
Not happening.
Yeah, no, I never thought that they were going to the Super Bowl.
Chiefs and
but
Seahawks. This guy called it.
I think the Bills are definitely 4th best team in the AFC right now. I think the Ravens are better, the Browns are better, and the Chiefs are better.
And the Steelers are better.
The Steelers not better.
We're better.
You were last week, but you're not.
Our power rankings.
you won't
we're
be
up
when
there.
the season's over.
We're up there. You guys dropped from 4 to 6.
1 week. We're
We
still
weren't
ahead of you.
We weren't even
Still
in the
ahead of
top
you,
10,
Mr.
and now we're 8.
Still ahead of you.
That's all right.
we're
First game
6th.
of the season.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm adopting these fucking Dolphins, man. They get
wait.
no respect.
You want to make a bet on the?
I cannot wait until
you want to make a bet on our outlet?
I cannot wait.
I'm not going to be your boat
I
bitch.
cannot wait.
Dude, I'm going to be driving your
sir,
boat.
Sir,
I'm going to be driving your boat, and you're going to be serving me drinks on it.
No.
That's what's going to be great.
Jesse, I need another Yoo-hoo, please.
I'm going to be like,
Take
like,
a
let
sip
me-
while you're at it.
just take me out to the deeper water here. I'll be like, I need some lotion over here on these shoulders. Get over
You're
here.
pasty ass.
Oh, we are taping this shit for the podcast.
I cannot wait.
Finally,
Cannot wait.
arguably, this could be the best game. You got low battery on your boy. We have the best game probably of the year in week 1 with the Raiders versus the Ravens.
Mhm.
Please tell me you guys stayed up and watched this entire game.
I didn't. I watched. I was about. I think there was 5 minutes left of the third quarter. Yeah, but I heard it was bonkers.
You missed out on an incredible game.
Mhm.
So, mind you,
Well, when you hear, "Oh, it hurts all weekend," you know
what does your boy always say about Lamar?
that he sucks. He can't throw.
He sucks, he can't throw. What did Lamar not do in this game?
Didn't throw.
He didn't fucking throw.
Yeah.
I'm literally texting every single play. Every time he throws, I'm just texting my boy like, "Oh, that was behind the line of scrimmage. That was behind the line of scrimmage." At the point of like the of halftime, I think he made one throw that was longer than like 8 yards.
Yeah, he had that. He had that 17-yard one.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was to though.
I will give him credit. In the fourth quarter, he had one throw. It was like a long 30-something yard. I don't know, long throw. I don't know how many yards it was.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
It was amazing. It was a great throw. The type of throw that people always go, Lamar can't throw, see? And then they pull that one fucking clip because everything other than that, I mean, he averaged less than 8 yards a throw, one of the lowest of the week.
So why was it a great game for somebody like me who didn't watch the conclusion?
All right. So this game, right? So you got the Raiders. The Raiders aren't supposed to be shit. The Ravens are supposed to roll over these guys.
Mediocre.
Mediocre team. They're middle of the pack.
Yeah.
They go in, Ravens get up on them. And then the Raiders got up on them. They start coming back. Lamar's running around. He's doing all this other stuff. It doesn't really get crazy until you start getting to the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
They go down, and the Chargers, or the fucking Chargers, the goddamn Raiders
Mhm.
are just marching along. And Lamar's had a fumble at this point. He hasn't really looked all that great. He had a wide open third down conversion that he missed a guy there was literally not a defender on him. He missed him by 4 feet. And I'm just loving it because I fucking hate Lamar Jackson. You know, he's a fucking bum. And so the Raiders are driving. They're going down. And all game, they haven't looked great either. There hasn't been any burst from the running backs. Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs, for whatever reason, they just stop running.
Yeah.
You know, normally when you're Josh Jacobs, big type of dude, you're running full speed. You're just going to hit the guy and hope your weight and momentum carries you another couple yards. He's dancing back there, losing yardage and everything, and I'm screaming at my TV. But at this point, they're marching.
Mm-hmm.
They go down, and they get down there, and they throw this beautiful pass, right? Beautiful, beautiful pass. They get down there. They go up by 3, they tie the game. Lamar Jackson goes out. He's got like a minute and a half left, and you just know that they're going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
He drives down. They got Justin Tucker. There's 37 seconds left. They kick the field goal. They go up by 3 points. Out comes Derek Carr. 37 seconds left. They kick it, touchback on the 25. He drops back, throws the ball. It's like 25 yards. Catch, drop, runs up, spikes the ball, goes into the next play, throws the ball, another 20-something yards. Catch, drop, goes up, 7 seconds
composure.
left. 7 seconds left. A 55-yard kick to tie the game. The guy goes down. He just fucking aces it. So it goes into overtime. You still don't feel good. You're like, the Ravens are definitely going to win this. They're the better team, clearly. They go out. The Raiders get the ball. So they obviously take the ball. The stadium's bumping. This Las Vegas stadium is fantastic. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They're driving down. A couple good passes by Carr. He looks sharp. Running backs are looking good. Everything's going on. He throws this beautiful ball to Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards catches the ball. He turns over, and as he's getting tackled, he reaches out, slams the ball down into the end zone. Touchdown. It's a walk-off, right?
Wow.
Everybody's going out. They're congratulating each other. They're shaking hands, blah, blah, blah. The refs come out, and they go, we must review a call. The game is not over. The game is not over. They review it. His knee is down. He's down at the 2-yard line. So you're going, all right, send Josh Jacobs in there with his big ass, and you run the ball in, you know? They run the ball. Gets stuffed immediately because the Ravens are fantastic defensive line
defense. Yeah.
Stuff him. He doesn't get a single inch. They go to the next play. Derek Carr drops back. He throws a perfect pass. Willie Snead is right there with his hands. He's got the diamond, perfect form, teaches you how to, you're teaching your 5-year-old how to catch a football with this. Goes right through his hands. People are they're giving Carr shit, saying that he threw the ball too fucking hard. If Snead catches this, he takes 2 steps, he walks right in. It goes off of his hands, gets deflected by a guy, goes up in the air like a fucking volleyball, drops down into the Ravens' hands, and they intercept the ball in the end zone for a touchback. So now I'm going, what the fuck? Because I've been talking big shit. At this point, I've been like, I'm eating crow. I'm like, fuck me, man. These dudes are it's bullshit. So now,
where are we at on the clock? Because there's only 10 minutes in overtime.
There's probably like 6 minutes left or something.
Okay.
It was a solid drive. So Lamar gets it at 25. And I'm going, well, he's going to win this, but obviously he's going to have to do it with his fucking hand or with his fucking legs because he can't throw.
Yeah.
He goes out. They rush him. He gets like a nice little run of like 15, 20 yards. He gets down. And I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking sick. Meanwhile, Max Crosby's having the game of his life, little ginger white boy who plays defensive line for the Raiders. And they line up him and Carl Nassib on the left side. Mind you, Carl Nassib, if you guys don't know who he is, former Brown. He's the guy who did all the little money talk and everything on the on Hard Knocks. Openly gay, first player to ever play in an NFL game as an openly gay player. He made that announcement during the offseason. Yeah. Lines up next to Max Crosby. They both blitz on the left side, come in hard. Carl Nassib comes in, blindsides Lamar as he's looking for the pass. He goes to run at the last second. He gets in there, knocks the ball loose, fumble. So now I'm back to talking my shit, baby. He can't fucking win the big game, blah, blah, blah. Drops the ball. Raiders get on top of it. They go out. Basic play. Nothing happens. Next play, there's Carr, and he throws this ball up, and it looks like a duck. And I'm like, what the fuck is this throw? And there's this dude. I don't even remember who it was. It wasn't Bryan Edwards. It wasn't Darren Waller. It wasn't Hunter Renfrow. I don't know who it was. Beats his guy by 3 strides. I mean, he's wide open, and he just drops that right down in the chimney, and they walk off.
Wow.
The Ravens lost 2 times in the course of like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
It was the most incredible finish to a game. If you get a chance to go back and watch the highlights, you need to do it. It was I think that it is the best game of the year. I mean, who knows what can happen in the future, but right now that is a major contender. It would have been the best game of the year for the last 2, 3, 4 years easily.
See, a lot of the reason I don't stay up for Monday Night Football is because they're usually blowout games. They're usually so boring, and they're not the best game of the week.
No, they're usually, that's been a huge problem for the NFL lately. Is Thursday and Monday Night Football have been awful.
They're awful. Yeah.
It was great. I went to bed tickled pink. My buddy, he was a huge Lamar fan. He was talking all this shit during the game about Baker and this. I go, who had more turnovers, motherfucker? I'm like, I'm gonna put you on a fucking milk carton, you missing motherfucker. And I'm just talking all this shit. Oh, it was great. I went up to him at work today. I was like, I was just checking to make sure you're okay. I didn't think you were gonna come into work. He's like, man, fuck you.
And this ain't a fashion show, but we've had a wardrobe change.
Man,
It feels good to be a winner.
Yeah, whatever. Hit me up next week.
When we're at the very least tied?
Yeah.
I
When you're at the
you
very
can't be
least tied.
bragging, you're gonna be better than us.
I mean,
At the very
we-
least, you'll be tied with us. The team that sucks so bad. You're gonna be tied
You
with
guys do suck.
I was gonna say, unless Cincinnati wins too, they would be first place no matter what.
I don't know who Cincinnati
we're-
plays,
we're
but Cincinnati's
golden.
trash
We're gonna be ahead of you for a while. Just wait it out.
for a while.
Eh.
Want to put a bet on that?
We already did. We've got our bet made.
You want to make more bets? I'll make as many bets as we can because you guys are fucking trash.
One chip challenge.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
That's not a.
Oh, yeah. I will do a weekly 1-chip challenge on the record, which means that at the very least, next week you don't have to do one.
Nope.
No?
Fuck the Steelers.
Scared?
I say fuck the Steelers before I ever eat that chip.
I'll tell you
again,
this,
bro.
I wouldn't do it.
I'll never eat that chip again, bro.
Pussy.
I am. It was awful. Never again.
But yeah, that's all I got for NFL news. Last thing that I was going to talk about was the Ohio State Buckeyes. They fucking suck. I watched the last bit of that game. I'm not a huge college football fan, so I'll admit that openly. I don't follow them die hard, but like the way that they lost that game, Oregon was up on them big, and then they started them out a comeback. That was just, their defense is fucking awful.
Yeah.
They can't stop anything. And as good as that quarterback looked in the first week, dude looked awful week 2.
But the thing is, like, you look at the first week and the signs are there in the first half. They played like shit in the first half of that game too. It was the second half when they turned it on.
And that's the thing with the Buckeyes is we, for whatever reason, whether it's coaching, it's not recruiting. We have some of the best fucking talent in the entire NCAA.
Sure.
We recruit with the best of them, but for whatever reason, they are not able to capitalize when it matters, whether it's against Penn State on Halloween a few years ago, whether it's fucking Iowa, whether it's Oregon last week. For whatever reason, there's always some bullshit ass game that we end up throwing. We can never go into the playoffs as the undefeated juggernaut like Alabama is, like Auburn has been, like Clemson, like all of these teams of the past. And I do not understand why.
Well, the good news is for Ohio State fans is like this loss comes early enough to where it's like you still have a chance if you run the table from here on out.
Yeah.
So like you look at your division, the Big Ten is always going to be one of the bigger divisions that they're going to look at for BCS consideration. So they win out, they win the division, all that. They're probably going to get in.
They'll get in as the
didn't
4,
fall
and
that
then they'll
far.
get fucking destroyed by Alabama.
They will.
They're gonna play Akron U.
Yeah. I mean,
is that?
well, they used to do that game all the time, but I'm like, now it's just ridiculous. Why would you
They
even
played Akron U before?
They did. They used to play Akron U every year.
Why?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy win and Akron pays them to do it.
Yeah.
Just
It's
to bring people or something.
for them. It's exposure. Yeah.
Exposure to what? You
Those-
suck.
Well, a
Those
national
shit
audience.
those shit teams always pay.
Really?
Like Alabama, they play FCS teams, which aren't even like
know that.
Yeah, they just don't come north.
right.
I
They're-
didn't realize that they played Akron. I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, every year they used to play them, and like you think Ohio State beat the shit out of them every single year.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah, that's all I had to say.
I think
about them.
I think I never been into college football, but the Ohio State thing, I never really understood it.
People
I
talk
don't-
about how college is
Their
like
allegiance to them. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, just like the connection and like it's everyone just sucks them off so hard.
It's because they're a winner. That's why.
I get that.
The Browns fans and Buckeye fans aren't the same thing. Buckeye fans are Buckeye fans because they're a winner nonstop. Browns fans are a proven allegiance.
That's true.
They are there. They were there through the worst years. Buckeyes have never had a terrible year.
Yeah, that's true. If the Buckeyes all of a sudden turned into a 4-loss team, you wouldn't see anybody in
No.
that stadium. I
Really?
don't think.
Hell,
You think
no.
people
The
would jump
stadium would
ship?
still be full because of students and shit, but you would not have, the die-hard Buckeye shit talking that we have now.
There's already people online saying like this is the end of the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's a 11. That team was ranked 11th.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's all I got to say about that.
That's all for sports.
Yep. Catch me tomorrow on the Casuals Fantasy Football Podcast for my picks of the week.
Oh, what's your picks of the week?
I haven't decided yet.
At least you didn't predict Sam Darnold to throw 5,000 yards like some other hack.
Did you predict 5,000 yards?
No,
for Sam
I
Darnold?
didn't.
Who?
Bo.
Oh, Bo.
How many shows a week do they record?
5
They do
now.
a lot now. They do
5
one
a
a
week?
day.
During the season, they do 5. Yep.
They're going hardcore for fantasy, man.
Dude, that's so much.
It's like
I got my
45
own
minutes
Wednesday
each.
segment now.
that's wild. That's too much.
Yeah, some of my picks turned out and some of them did not.
I love doing this, but there's no way I'd be doing this 5 days a week.
For us,
they
that
have
would be
nothing
tough.
to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I picked fan. Well, they only do 1 hour too. We do 3 hours.
even so, I mean, you had nothing else to do with yourself. This fucking circle jerk in the pool table.
Man, this is such a fucking hater.
No, I love
Ryan's
it.
mad he doesn't have his own segment. Bo, call Ryan and let
No.
him have a Steeler segment.
I give them props
So
for the
that he
commitment.
doesn't get
I
angry.
could not commit to doing this for 5 days a week. There's just no way I could
Yeah.
commit to this 5 days a week.
Well,
I
us,
look forward to once a week. I love it, but 5 days a week, even an hour, is a lot.
we
man.
wouldn't have
Well,
the content. Like just for us to find even enough for one show is sometimes difficult.
Yeah,
I think that also we do this for fun. And I
Right.
think that they want to, there's not a huge market for fantasy podcasts.
yeah,
And I think they're trying to capitalize and hope
I get
to
that.
increase that and make that like a
yeah.
monetary thing.
I give them credit. That's a big commitment. You know, I mean, you're week shot every week at that point. I mean,
Well,
good for them.
That'd be tough for me.
Yeah, there's no way. Well, I guess that's like their movie thing, like
That's
where
true.
you are doing movie reviews every single day.
This
I
week.
mean, if they're all on board with that, good for them. It's
Right.
just that's a big commitment.
I can't wait to watch Karen this week.
Oh, I'm sure.
Karen.
All right, let's get social.
It is July 20th, 1969, and man
69.
is about to land on the moon.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and
freedom will be defended.
I did not have sexual relations with that
sure
woman.
did.
That's the way the news
What a
goes.
liar. Why's he gonna fucking lie like
Has he
that?
ever admitted that he had sexual relations with her? I mean, he did. He knows he
No.
did,
He
right?
got a blowjob. That's not sexual.
He doesn't think that that's
relations.
sexual
That's not
relations. You
sexual
don't think that that's sexual relations?
Got P in the V, man.
No. So you think that's not cheating?
That's not the same.
mean,
I think
this-
cheating is anything that you don't want to tell
Sexual-
your wife
So
about.
you don't
though.
think that getting head is sexual?
I wouldn't say that it's sex.
It's sexual relations. It's,
Oh my
this fucking guy's as bad as Bill Clinton.
It's cunnilingus, man. It's not sexual.
This dude.
We've got Jesse's wife on the line.
No.
Sexual organs.
No.
Get the
You
fuck-
can cheat without having sex.
Oh my god, this fucking guy.
He definitely cheated.
I don't.
He did not have
cheating or
sexual
not,
relations with that woman.
I'm not saying he definitely. Come on.
I
Get
did
that
not
fuck outta
have
here.
sexual relations
This
with that
guy.
woman.
Come on, Bill. We love you. You can admit it finally. Anyways, not much for Let's Get Social. Well, I got a couple things I pulled actually while you guys were talking Matrix or
Sports.
something because I didn't see it. So
Okay.
but the big one was and I hinted at it with Chris earlier with the Blues Clues. So Steve from Blues Clues out of the blue. I don't know, publicity stunt or if it was just a genuine thing, but he came out, put this video out about how he kind of disappeared and is back. Well, not back, but I don't know. I don't know what the point of the video was. I don't know if it was just a genuine like feel good thing,
Yeah.
or if
At the
there's
time we
anything
need it
coming
most.
from it or anything. But I thought it was cool. Did you guys ever watch? Did you watch the video? Did you care about that? I think Jesse might be too young for that.
What, Blue's
Blues
Clues?
Clues? Did you watch
He's
Blues Clues
probably the
ever?
best suited
Yeah,
for it.
man. Blues Clues was my
Yeah?
generation.
You watched the video?
You were the weird kid watching it when you were 10.
Well, my brother was 6 years younger than me, so I think that's probably part
Papa
of it.
Bow!
Did you?
I can tell
I'm
you-
in middle school.
I didn't
Papa
watch it when I was
Bow!
13. I could tell you that.
Did you watch the video? Did
Yeah.
it tug on your heartstrings? Did you
It,
feel good?
it gave me a lot more joy than I expected.
Yeah.
It legitimately like warmed my heart.
It was cool. I thought it was really cool. How about you, Chris?
I watched it. Yeah, it doesn't have the same effect because I didn't watch the show. I mean, it's nice. I think it's a good positive video, especially at
Yeah.
a time when we need it most.
I thought it was cool. I mean, again, I don't know if there's anything to it. Like, I don't know if maybe there's going to be some kind of they're gonna do a fucking relaunch,
They
or
should.
something.
That would be fucking sick.
He should show people how to be an adult now.
Yeah,
Blues
dude.
could do. We can too. Woo, woo, woo.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't love
Oh
the
my
show,
Fucking
but I didn't love the show. I thought it kind of was annoying. But
What?
again, the age differences that
Dude,
a little
Blues
bit.
Clues was the shit.
I had moments where I would watch it and I'd be like, yeah, it's cool. But I mean, it wasn't for my age range, like when it was really popular.
You said
But
there's a screw. This is a nail. Oh, a clue.
His little coloring book.
Oh, it's great.
Do you have a penis?
Jeez.
You know?
But yeah, I thought the video was really cool. I thought it was it blew up. I mean, the fucking internet exploded with this fucking Steve video. And then he was on Stephen Colbert late night. He came on there as a guest and like showed up or whatever.
You should show a certain picture.
That I was gonna say, my friend Lauren, she just got a dope portrait of him, which I thought was really cool. Says, "I'll never ever forget you ever." Or what did he say?
Yeah.
I think it was that he never did forget us.
I never ever forgot you ever.
That's crazy.
That's real dope.
Great detail too.
Yeah, very well done. I thought that was super dope.
Got
Epic
the paw
tattoo.
print, too.
So yeah, that's cool. Feel good. We need that positivity stuff. Outside of that, couple things. Apple's big event was today. Their annual like launch where they announced
Where
it.
they show how they caught up to Android.
For sure. Oh, look, I'm not even lying. I didn't watch it this year. I usually watch it every year. I'm always really like pumped for it, but I didn't. But coming out of that, I saw a different story. Steve Wozniak, who was one of the co-founders of Apple, is the next billionaire, millionaire tech mogul to launch his own space program. So Steve Wozniak now is launching his own private space company.
Wow.
My thing is, or my question is for you guys, is where do we think these guys are doing? These, fucking Amazon, whatever his name is, and
Bezos.
Yeah, Bezos with his, and then we got SpaceX. Like, what is the end game? Are these people investing in this because Obama defunded NASA.
We're gonna colonize Mars, bro.
We rely on SpaceX now to do a lot of our missions and stuff. They facilitate sending stuff to space. So do you think these other companies are hopping on to try and get contracts? Do you think that they believe there's a true future in like us living in space? Like,
100%.
Why are we investing? Why are these companies investing in that?
I think it's just that they feel inspired by the mission itself. And the fact is, if America's not going to take advantage of it, then they will, because they have the money and the resources to.
Yeah.
So for them, it's just a matter of, getting all their ducks in a row and finding the motivation to do it. And if they're an outside source that NASA will wake up to realize that they've got a good thing going, why not? In my opinion.
It's all about money, man.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos doesn't give a fuck about anything but money. And whether or not we're living on Mars or the moon or anything like that, there will be space stations and things like that where people will be able to go, whether that is just a resort for a vacation spot.
Yeah.
But the world's richest of the rich will go to space and live in a luxury space hotel if you make it available to them. And I think that is ultimately going to be the end game. I don't think that this is for the betterment of humanity. I don't think that it's for the betterment of space exploration. I think it's for a fucking Trump Tower in the fucking orbit that people will be able to go and enjoy.
See, my friend Jesse here is missing the bigger picture.
What's that?
And that is the fact that if they move to, we'll say Mars for argument's sake, they no longer get votes on this planet. So that's the end of that story.
It's a dual citizenship, Chris.
No. You don't fucking live here. You don't get a fucking vote.
Here's my thing. Do we genuinely?
They don't fucking vote.
Do we really think? I mean, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around the idea of ever living outside of Earth.
I don't think
you
that
never
we
have.
live.
No, but I mean, you think about, okay, we've traveled to Mars. We know it takes a long fucking time to get there. It's what, like a year trip or something just to get to Mars?
Probably something like that.
It's something ridiculous. Like it's at least 6 months just to get there. How are you going to build anything there?
I don't think that we live on Mars. I think that we live in space stations. And
so you think that they build like a space
like
station
satellites
hotel
that fucking orbit the planet or that travel throughout space that are self-sufficient? Why not?
I don't know. That's just so mind-blowing to me to think about, like, because you look at the space station, and I mean, those people live up there for like a year at a time.
7 months.
7 months to get to Mars. Yeah. So we're not building, like, we're spending all this money to research Mars, which is cool. I think researching in space is cool. Like, we're never going to be able to facilitate living there. Like, how do you get materials there to build anything? It would take forever.
Ask Matt Damon. He's done it twice.
Dude, it takes me a fucking month and a half to get a jersey shipped from China.
No
They'll
shit.
figure out a way.
Bro,
you're lucky.
A month to get a jersey from China. Now we're talking about building actual living facilities.
The thing is,
stuff on Mars.
Technology advances so
fast.
I saw a fucking kids hunger commercial the other day where the kid that was talking was not fucking real. She was created by artificial intelligence. She looked like a real kid.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is the face
It's
of
creepy, man.
American hunger. I was created by artificial intelligence, by multiple images to show, like, they just took a bunch of hungry kids and imported their pictures, and a fucking computer turned this into a single girl to tell me the message about world hunger, which I don't fucking understand why they went that angle, because I don't understand the correlation, but my mind was still blown because I thought for sure it was a real girl.
You watch Resident Evil too much.
I don't know. I mean, I think we need to explore space. I mean, I think it's good to know what's out there, but it's hard for me to believe that we will ever live outside of our planet. Like, focus on things here, like focus on fixing shit here, and not the fact that we're gonna like live in space.
We've already fucked everything.
I don't think you or I will see it.
No, hell,
no,
no.
It's
It won't be
obviously
in our
it's
lifetime.
not going to be in our lifetime.
No.
So I don't think there's ever going to come that point where we go, well, we can see it because it's in our.
Would you live in space if you could? If it happened in our lifetime?
If it was a luxury type of thing, sure.
Yeah, you would do it.
I'd
Why
live
not?
anywhere. I mean, anything's better than death.
I don't know. I just don't really. Well, I mean, if it came down to that, but I'm saying in like Jesse's saying, like a vacation type thing.
My thing is like,
oh, I can go to space and stay for a week in a hotel there. Like, I don't know if I'm trusting enough of it.
think of it
seems
this way.
So like risky to go there. Like, there's so much unknown, and like, I don't know.
In every single alien movie that you ever watch, not necessarily the brand Alien, but any invasion movie that we ever watch, why are they coming? They're coming to steal our resources, to wipe us out. They're the parasites of the galaxy. It's Independence Day. It's fucking Signs. It's fucking Alien. It's whatever.
No.
What is to say that we are not the fucking parasites
Yeah.
who ruined their home country, who go planet to planet stealing resources?
That is us.
Science has already told us that there are millions of planets just like Earth that are close enough to a star to hold water, that we know have water, that we know have some form of life, whether it's bacterial or whatever. But we know that we could go there, we could mine, and we could take, and we could do all these other things. We are the fucking parasitic aliens from Independence Day that are going planet to planet and eating it and devouring it.
Absolutely.
That is us. We're Galactus.
I think a more realistic thing would be us a doomsday type thing where we send a small colony of people to a planet to continue.
Just to find
like, you're
out.
not moving
But
the whole.
what is
You're not moving the
small?
whole. You're not moving the whole Earth.
What is small to
to-
you, though?
I don't know, 100 people,
No way.
more, less.
I think you're sending
1,000.
100 million people.
No
What?
way.
Really?
No way.
Think of the concept of 100 million compared to the world's population of 7 billion.
No, I know it's a small amount, but I don't
That's
think you're
very
facilitating
small.
moving that many people there.
I think
But
I think 100% you could.
The test group though has to be smaller than that because you don't want to judge that. Like that many people could die on
Yeah.
that planet.
We're talking about sending, what was it, like 30 people to Mars?
Mhm.
Isn't that like the goal in the next couple of years or
Yeah,
something?
no way.
One-way trip. Those people know they're not coming back, but they're going to be making history. Like,
But that's 30 people.
That's wild.
that's 30
bro.
people. We have the capability of sending to Mars. You're telling me we can't make a giant.
There's 30
we
people
can't make.
going to
mul-
Mars that are going on a one-way trip.
Yeah,
there?
they're going to die.
Really?
They're going to die. There.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah.
So are they going to go there to try and like just see how long they can live?
I don't fucking know.
if it's inhabitable, basically.
Bro, that's wild. Why would you do that?
History, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody will know your name forever.
Who cares? You're dead.
Who cares? You're
I
gonna
don't-
die anyway.
That doesn't matter to me. Like,
You can die as Ryan Weiss, guy who had a podcast. You can die as Ryan Weiss, first man to go to Mars.
and nobody will give two shits regardless.
I'm just saying.
Just tell me I get to go back and see Murph. Tell me Murph's okay.
bro, that's wild.
Who's the first man to step on the moon?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody. I
You
don't
know.
care.
You don't care, but you know.
Yeah, but like I don't give two shits about Neil Armstrong.
You'll never die, though. You are
Bro.
immortal. Neil Armstrong, one small
I-
step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Who's the second guy to walk on the moon?
I have no idea.
Nobody knows.
I don't
It's
know.
Buzz
Put it-
Arnold.
Put it in terms he can understand. Heroes get remembered.
But
That is
legends
our-
never
I
die.
get it, but I'm still not going to Mars and dying there voluntarily just so my name could be in a history
For
book.
infamy?
No, absolutely. Would you do it?
Hell yeah.
Why
I
didn't
signed
you
up.
You did. You did.
I
Not.
did. No,
You're
I
full of
swear to God, I did. I sent in an application.
this
I did
one.
not
you-
get picked.
Did you tell Stephanie?
It was before we were together.
Oh, you had nothing to live for at that point.
Fuck that. I'm going to fucking Mars. I'm going to be a spaceman.
Hell,
I'm going to be a
fucking-
legend.
dude. There's no fucking.
I'm going to be the
way.
person that made it capable for people to live outside of the earth that we have lived on for millions of years.
I give you credit. It's a very selfless act. It's just not for me.
I tell my friends.
Oh, it wasn't selfless. I want to be fucking famous.
Yeah, it's not exactly self.
I'm eating fucking dehydrated astronaut food for the
thing.
rest of my days. It's not
The
selfless.
thing with being famous, though, is like, why does it matter when you're gone? You have nothing. You don't gain anything.
That entirely
from
depends
that.
on your beliefs.
Oh.
Some people say that you live forever until the last person says your name.
Oh my goodness.
I don't personally believe that, but some people do. Maybe they're right. I might end up dying and being like, fuck, I'm living forever.
If they came to me though and they said, like, if we found out that it is inhabitable, that we can, we can live there and all that, yeah, I'd live there. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, it's a world that doesn't have our fucking faults. It's not this fucking hideous place.
It's cold as fuck, though.
Damn.
Cold as
Just saying.
fuck.
I love it here. I love it. I love America.
Yeah. Well, you can keep your COVID down here. I'm gonna go fucking live in.
Hey, shit, they probably got worse up there.
You
man.
catch COVID on Mars and your entire population's dead in a week.
Yeah.
Dude. Chris is gonna kill everyone off.
Fucking Martians.
Have it.
You never know, man.
See, that's my main thing, though. I want those 30 people to go, and I want that shit live streamed so that when the fucking Martians come out and fucking kill them, I want to see it.
Jeez. So this wasn't
So demented.
this wasn't on my list of things, but
Because it's going to crash and they're going to be like, oh, it's just a fucking malfunction and they blew up and crashed into Mars. Nah, motherfucker. There was a Martian on there and they lost control and that shit blew up. And that'll get released in 60 years from a CIA tape, just like everything else. We know Martians are alive now.
I was about to say, yeah, we know about UFOs.
We
Nobody
know
fucking
UFOs
talks
now.
about it. Nobody cares.
And
Nobody gives a shit.
People are too afraid to care.
Yeah.
If they're too afraid.
We
to
were gonna storm Area
that
51 and Naruto run that shit because
Hell
we cared
yeah.
so much, and then no one even fucking
Nobody
cares.
even fucking showed
No
us.
one gives a shit,
Let's
bro.
storm it.
It's not cool anymore,
Dude.
Elon Musk, so one of the space race guys, said something. This wasn't on my list, but talking about the artificial intelligence and stuff, he was saying, and I think we talked about this on the show a while ago, with the evolution of technology and stuff and where we think we'll be.
Yeah.
And there was an interview he did recently where he was talking about like a international like income. Like everyone will be on a basically like a fixed income because technology and robotics are going to take over, and
100%.
for everybody to be able to live or survive, we're not going to have an income. So like basically everyone just has. Right. Everybody makes 30.
Robots are going to be farming, and then robots are going to be shipping those to the groceries where the robots are going to be serving us our food.
Yeah,
I do remember this conversation.
And he was saying that
he's not wrong.
The only way that we're going to be able to ever survive is if they implement some kind of just basic income system for everybody.
Even need income. Just fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he means that will be in dollar bills or if it just means like
you don't need any
or
type of income.
credits. We're gonna have credits.
The reason that we have
What's it in Fifth
income
Element?
is because fucking
something credits.
Credits, man.
Yeah, like the only reason that you need income is because somebody's able to control it. But if
Yeah.
you really make automated systems that are just made to fucking
But they would have
support
to do
us,
some kind of ration system.
no, you wouldn't.
Because otherwise people would just, how
Dude,
people get.
Do you know how much fucking food we waste every single day?
Right.
Dude, go to Walmart.
It's
No,
ridiculous.
It's sad.
Those
you
those
don't
robots
think
would be
that-
able to constantly churn out brand new vegetables and fruits. They'd be able to raise the cows and everything else, slaughter them, ship them out, and we would be able to walk in and be able to take whatever we needed for food that day. The thing is you wouldn't have to buy anything and have a stocked pantry or anything like that, because at that time you'd be able to just go and be like, I feel like ribs tonight, and you just grab them and go. You wouldn't have to ration anything. You wouldn't have to have groceries set aside. There'd be no budget that you have to do. There wouldn't be any grocery shopping where you're getting set for the week. You would just go and be like, I'm feeling fried chicken. Hey, Mr. Robot, can you make me fried chicken? And it's going to make you fried chicken. You're going to be good to go.
Wild.
Yes,
And that
Jesse.
shit's beyond our comprehension.
Do you think that if we ever got to that point, we'd even like have cows and chickens and shit anymore?
Hell yeah.
Or you think we'd still have like it would be artificial?
Dude, they're making
would be
artificial
ro-
meat right now, and that shit is delicious.
That's what I'm
from I
saying.
hear.
Like robots wouldn't be like raising cows.
Why not?
We'd be eating like some kind of fake manipulated food or something.
You would literally probably just have cows that are raised to be slaughtered. That wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be the most great. You wouldn't have any A5 Wagyu that's out there grazing in an open field.
Well, and cows serve an environmental purpose too. So it's
That's what
not
I'm
just
saying.
about eating them. It's about
I think if we got to that point, like if we literally got to the point where everything was manufactured, we wouldn't have like I think
That's
everything,
all it is
we would just be
now.
consuming
Dude,
like
it's that's all that it is now.
I
though.
know, but I don't think we would need that at that point. I think if technology advanced so far, it would just be fucking we'd be eating like manufactured goo. And it would
Why?
just taste like
Why?
cow.
Why couldn't you program it to feed the cows once a day, 3 times a day, however often the cow eats,
No.
and take care of that? You program a cow to go or a robot to go out there and clean up their shit, to water their grass. Like you could have a utopia. Everybody would be eating A5 Wagyu is what it is, because you can program them to do so.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have some lazy fuck who'd be going, it's a lot easier for me to just pack them all into these crates and then slit their throats all at once. You got robots that are programmed to fucking massage them and make sure that they're set and good to go. We'd be eating like kings. But the problem is people like Jeff fucking Bezos will be going, well, they're my robots. And so then he would just fucking have us eating goo while he's eating the fucking A5 Wagyu instead of helping humanity. We wouldn't need any of that shit.
Mr. Unk, you've come here 3 times already for toilet paper today.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there would be some kind of ration system. Like you
I just don't
you'd
think
have
you
so
would
many
need it.
credits to get, your toilet paper for the week.
You could have
whatever,
things
like-
automated though. Like you could literally, like they've got those buttons for Amazon where like I run out of Tide Pods and I hit the button and it automatically like orders it.
Yeah.
You could easily do some shit like that in your home because all that's going to be automated too.
Yeah.
Like
It's
while
gonna
you're
be-
just taking
it's gonna
shit,
be a
there's button there for
pre-filled-
toilet paper.
preset motions.
It's going to sense that
options.
you're down to 3 rolls of fucking toilet paper in your bathroom and it's going to automatically send them to the rest of like, there's no reason that we wouldn't be able to live in a full utopia with robotics.
I don't want to live in this world.
Here's the thing. Do I have to go to work?
No,
Okay, cool. I'm on.
you
board.
are doing whatever the fuck you want because you wake up every day and food is no longer an issue and work is no longer an issue.
Sounds
The
good.
robots are making your roads. The robots are, you don't even have a car. If you need a ride, you walk out and you go boop, boop, boop on your phone and a fucking robot car picks you up and takes you to wherever you need to go.
I don't
It sounds
want
awful.
Which isn't, why?
It sounds awful.
That sounds amazing.
I don't love working, but I also don't want to live in a world where you have no purpose. Like you have no purpose there. You're just literally just
What purpose do you need other than to live your life and enjoy it?
I don't know. I don't feel like it would be as enjoyable when you can just literally do whatever.
Why
I don't
do-
know.
Can
Why do
I don't
you
know.
need to impact the world?
I don't personally, but like I feel like I have, like you get up and you have something you need to do. Like I feel like if you didn't have to do anything productive any day, it wouldn't be that awesome.
You
It
could
sounds
literally do
awesome
whatever
now.
you wanted.
Like what would
You could go
do
to
every-
fucking Disney.
What would you do all day every day?
tomorrow.
You would get sick of it.
No, you
would
wouldn't.
get
You have
sick of
freedom
it.
to do whatever you want.
You'd get
Any
so
cuisine.
bored.
You love traveling.
Any cuisine
I
that
do.
you want.
Look at people that are fucking rich as shit and can do whatever the fuck they want. They're all miserable. They're all fucking miserable.
Jeff Bezos is not fucking miserable.
I guarantee you that
That
is not the
smug
happiest man you
bastard.
think. I guarantee you that dude.
I guarantee you
deep
the happiest
depression
man in
and
the
not
world.
happy.
The happiest man in the world is not working 40 hours a week. Though.
Absolutely not.
I guarantee you that,
Absolutely
too.
not. I agree.
But
I just don't. I
he's
think
an idiot if he is.
everything is that easily accessible to you, it takes away some of the like pleasure in having.
But
it.
you would be able to wake up tomorrow, go get on your bike, ride down to a park, take a walk in nature,
Yep.
come home, eat whatever the fuck you feel
And
like.
you
And you don't have to
realize
worry about a budget.
every.
I feel like
single-
filet mignon tonight. I'm going to eat it.
Do you know how busy everywhere would be because
Nowhere.
no one is working?
But there's so
Every-
much. But there's so
Everywhere's-
much
no one would be working
availability.
anywhere.
There's so much availability that everybody's going to be able to enjoy it because not everybody's going to think to go down to the
don't
metro
know.
park. Not everybody's going to think to go down to this or that. Everything is perfectly.
If every
able to go.
person could go to Disney any day, every day at their own free will, it would be awful because there'd be so many people there.
For the first year, yes.
It'd be
After that,
awful.
everybody's been there. And then the true,
exactly.
but then the true
And then
people
what do
that
you
love it,
do?
the true people that
What
love
do
it
do
like you,
then?
you're going to be there.
I would no longer love it. If I go Disney every single day, I would no longer
Go to
love it.
Universal.
You wouldn't go
I
there
would,
every
I
day.
would love it for a week.
You would go to
go to Euro Disney. Go to
Yeah.
fucking go to all.
you
of
would
them.
go to Disney,
You
and
can
then you would go
do
to Niagara
that
Falls, and then you could
for-
literally
Oh my god.
you could literally travel
It'd be
America
awful.
and
It'd
see
be awful.
everything.
I hate it. I hate the idea.
I'm gonna go to the Grand Canyon. I'm gonna go
Cool,
to
done.
Boston.
done.
I'm gonna go to Virginia Beach.
Done.
I'm gonna go to Orlando.
Done.
I'm gonna go to. I
Done.
can go everywhere.
And then what do? Do it all over again on repeat?
The world is a huge place,
Bro, you're talking for the next 30 years. You have nothing to do but do whatever you
I could
want.
go-
You're gonna get bored.
I would not get. Do you know how big America is? How many states have you been to?
All of them.
You've been to every single state.
Really?
Mhm.
Alaska?
How many?
I have not been to Alaska.
You've been to Hawaii.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've been to Hawaii. What'd you do when you were there?
Went to the beach.
You did everything you could have done in Hawaii
Everything I'd
in
want
the
to
week
do.
that you were there.
Anything that you would want to do.
No, you haven't. We did everything that a vacationer on a week in Hawaii would have wanted to do, but you didn't experience what it was like to live in Hawaii. You could live there. You could live on the beach.
I'm just gonna lay back because I like this conversation.
I think it's one of those things where you think it sounds great because right now, like, we have to work and do stupid shit we don't want to do. But I feel like I would look. I was on vacation last week, and I had nothing to do, and I was bored, and I could have done whatever I wanted.
But you know why you were bored?
I was bored.
You couldn't do whatever you wanted.
I mean, I could have.
You could do a lot of things because you managed your money and you're well off.
But I mean, I could have done
everything you wanted to do.
I could have went to Disney if I wanted. I could have went to Florida if I wanted. I could have went to California.
But then even within that, you're restricted. You couldn't have done anything you wanted to do.
But my point is, I was off for a week and I could have went and did something, and I was bored, and I was like, I didn't really want to
because
I was like ready to go back to work yesterday. I was like, I'm ready to work.
So you could have gone there and dropped a couple grand and done something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have to think about those finances. You probably said, it's probably not worth it for me to spend $3 grand and go to Disney right now. I'm going to go in the summertime. I'll just relax this week.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't an option, and that's something that you really, really love to do, you could go and do that. Even Chris has a staycation and he's chilling at home. He's not doing anything that's like crazy, crazy expensive, but he buys that food every single day. That's still a cost that you have to keep in mind. And he's not going out every single day and going to a 5-star restaurant, dropping $200 on every meal for his staycations, but he could. With the robots, he could.
I'm ready. I'm not about that life. I'm not about it.
Dude,
I'm about a change in our lifestyles as far as I think we work way too much.
To me, working to pay half of your paycheck going to something that you don't ever see in the first place, that's depressing.
You don't even need taxes anymore. The robots are doing it all.
We work way too much. Our work weeks are too long. The hours Americans work are too much. I definitely think there needs to be a change in that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But a life where everything is just handed to you and you can do, I think it gets old quick. I think it'd be cool at first. I agree. I would fucking travel everywhere. I'd be in those little huts in the ocean in Fiji, and I'd be fucking going to every Disney park that there is in existence. And I would do all those things. And for a year, I'd be like, this is fucking dope. And then I'd be like, cool. This isn't that great anymore. Now what do? I did everything.
I don't think you could do everything in a year that you want to do.
What is on your list though? Like, what do you really want to do?
I think that
like there's not that many things on my bucket list that would take me longer than a year to do.
That's because you've minimized, like you've put on your bucket list the things that you think are grand enough to be worth seeing before you die. But if you don't have to worry about saving up and doing all of that, like I want to go to Rome. I think it's going to be great to go to the Colosseum and see all that stuff.
You go to Rome for what, a month?
I go to Rome for a month.
Okay, and then what?
That's a month of my life that I've spent in Rome. I've seen the culture, I've seen the food, I've done all of the things that I want to do.
You think you would need a month in Rome?
I could do a month in Rome easily.
Give me a week.
Because I'm not sightseeing. I'm going to sightsee for like a week, and then I'm going to live amongst the people and see all of the shit that they experience.
Yeah.
A person that goes to Rome for a week comes back and they're like, oh, we went to Rome for a week, and I'm very, I'm very experienced in Roman culture. Oh, you call that a margarita pizza? Like they don't fucking know anything about Rome.
Yeah, I get it.
But they think that they're entitled assholes. You could literally engross yourself in the culture. Like Marina, who I work with, lived in China for 3 years. And she hasn't seen tons of China.
You could literally,
dude, you could. Oh man, you could.
I don't know. I guess for me, part of the limitation is what makes things exciting. The like anticipation of like working up to getting to do something and like working for doing it. And when it's just handed to you, it just doesn't seem that exciting to me.
For
the fact
me,
that everything is as easily as accessible to everyone, the same as anybody else, doesn't seem that exciting to me. I feel like it just loses some of the luster of it.
But to be fair, you've never had it.
Never had what?
You've never had that privilege of saying that.
I honestly feel like I could do whatever I wanted if I wanted to.
You've had to work for it, but you still have limitations. You have to fucking pay your tax. You have all this shit that weighs you down in one way or another.
What's one thing that I couldn't do that you guys are saying?
There's
I wouldn't go live in Rome for a month.
If I come to you, Ryan, I say, I want a new car. Get me a car tomorrow, please.
Well, I wouldn't buy you a new car.
But that's the thing, though.
Well, why wouldn't you buy me a new car?
You are limited. Like the three of us feel like we're relatively successful. We manage our money pretty well. We do what we want when we want.
Right.
The three of us are dirt poor in comparison to this concept.
Yeah.
I mean, we are peasants on the ground. And to have this event, like, I don't think that we're even able to comprehend the ability to do these things.
Yeah.
Because when you go to New York, you think about sightseeing, you think about going to the pizza shops, you think about doing all this other stuff. You don't think about living in Rockefeller and going into the top tier clothing stores and having fucking Gucci suits made for you because that's just out of your realm.
Because you still have a life you have to come back to.
But here's my thing.
100%.
You got to think, though, also, is in this world, everything would be the Rockefeller. Because everyone would have the ability to have the biggest, coolest mansion you want. You wouldn't need to travel to New York to go to Rockefeller Center
now,
because your house already is
right. So now take that into context. So now Gucci, whatever the brand is, why is Gucci important? Why is that?
I don't think they are.
Why is it though? For most people,
I don't honestly know. What? Because it's expensive.
They're the biggest brand.
Because marketing has said so. There's no reason.
Yeah.
With everything available, that type of shit doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So there's no more chauvinistic rich people shoving shit down your throat. Originality takes place. Future involvement takes place. Chris could make a movie. The fucking film freak with an unlimited budget can make a movie that he truly thinks is amazing and impact the world. That's where your impact comes from.
But do you think anybody...
Your podcast now has unlimited reach and we can do whatever we want. We can really impact the world.
But does anybody care about that anymore? Because every single one of us can make a movie. Every single one of us can have a cool
100%.
Podcast. Everyone can do everything. So it no longer matters.
Because ultimately good music is good music. Good art is good art and good creation is good creation. And that's always going to exist because no matter what the budget is, I can make $100 million piece of shit movie. Chris has the unlimited budget just like I do, but he only needed to spend $1 million to make a true character piece that tugs at your heartstrings. And everybody's going to know, man, that movie by Chris Kessinger doesn't need to be by Nolan anymore. Doesn't need to be funded by Warner Brothers anymore because the robots made it possible that Chris made his standalone movie that is the Casablanca of our time. And I spent $100 million and it was shit, but it doesn't matter because everybody's going to walk away with whatever they decided to make.
Yeah.
It's a utopia.
I don't know. I can't get behind it.
That's an awesome Transformers to Dazed and Confused comparison there.
100%.
Some of it would be cool, and some of it I think would just take away from the excitement and joy, because it would be so easily accessible to everyone to do anything at any time. But anyhow, speaking of which, and maybe robots do need to take over because this employee shortage is getting worse.
Yeah. Way to swing it into Shitsville.
Sorry, we had to get to it.
I'm only talking about the further advancement of humanity, and now we're talking about.
And then we get reality. So I'm just curious at this point what we fucking do because things are getting no better. I don't think they're gonna get better. And it's a reality. I think we've kind of thrown around our ideas and like what we think is right and wrong with the vaccine and working. And
do you want a real solution or do you want a podcast friendly solution?
No, I want to know what we realistically do to resolve the problem that we're at right now with just the country, with the vaccine, with working. So Delta, we talked about Delta, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had implemented that healthcare charge. Where they were going to charge $200 a month or something.
For insurance.
Yeah, for insurance costs or whatever. Shit. And it's working, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So like they haven't had a huge turnover of people like they had, like a lot of places are having. So what do we do to fix this? You know, I shared that video of me at Acme and like how there was no one there and shelves aren't really super stocked and things like that. We've talked about the vaccine and like, what are we going to do? Should we mandate the vaccine? Should we not mandate the vaccine? So Joe Biden has now pushed that it's going to be mandated for a lot of places, 100 employees or more, you need to mandate it. And it seems to be going backwards. We thought, oh man, people are going to lose their job. They're going to get it. People are just quitting and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
The nursing home that my grandma lives in, they're closing. Like they're literally shutting down because so many people have quit and they can't get anybody to work there that they can't safely manage the people there. So, and then the hospital I talked about in New York, where they are no longer delivering babies because they don't have the staffing to do it. Like this is a trend that's going to continue. What do we do? Like, what is the right move or what is the next step at this point?
So I think you asked a lot of questions in that statement for sure.
A lot of questions.
So to me, I don't think the problem is just one answer. I think it's many answers. So when it comes to the vaccine itself, I feel like mandating it is a bad decision with a lot of dire consequences. For me, I'm okay, mandating it for a place like a hospital, even despite what Ryan said about the story, because as we talked about, as you specifically said in our story thread, if you're a parent and you're giving birth, you know, you want a nurse or a doctor who's vaccinated to that point. You don't want your kid getting sick, because that's a whole ball of wax that you're going to go down with lawsuits and everything.
I'll fucking kill somebody.
So in that environment, I'm fine with it. I feel like worldwide though, it's not a good decision. So to me, what do I do to counterbalance that? Well, they kind of started down the right road, but they didn't fully commit to it, and that's benefiting the people who do get it. So to me, I've always said that, you know, I've always been of the thought that if you're not vaccinated, you don't go to the hospital if you get sick. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. Have some fucking balls and tell these people that that's the way it's going to be. Right. So if you want care, you know, and you can write it out yourself. It is a choice at the end of the day, because you can either choose to get it or not choose to get it. And you can be just like our hospital. We can choose to serve you, or we can choose not to. It's the same fucking thing. So I feel like that's the solution to one problem. A totally different problem though, as far as the unemployment and the work goes, you know, the job vacancy is going on right now. I feel like for far too long in this country, and you can call me an asshole, whatever you want, I feel like we've rewarded the lazy for far too long. And I, for one, am tired of it, and it's finally caught up to us. So to me, a solution for something like that is you have to reward the people who have stayed firmly committed to their jobs. So I had this talk with my boss just yesterday, as a matter of fact. And I said, look, I'm not telling you guys how to do your job, but I'm saying, like, you've got 40 jobs that are on that wall right now, and you've got 20 workers here who are standing firm. But we feel like since this whole thing has started, we've been slighted. There's nothing that's come our way that truly said thank you. You've said thank you, but there's nothing that we've felt that we've been thanked for.
Right.
That's a big problem. So I feel like once those workers, the ones that have stayed committed, are thanked, and once that, you know, the unemployed look at it and they go, wow, man, I wish I was around to get that. I don't know what that is, but we got to start talking about it.
Right.
If they see that as the example set, that inspires them to get off the couch and to start going back and going like, yeah, it's worth it. Let's do this again. The big problem, and we've talked about on the show for the longest time, has been labor is very undervalued in this country.
Agreed.
In one way or another. There's physical jobs, there's mental jobs, all kinds of different jobs. It's very undervalued. That's a system that has to change, in my opinion. And that's the first step. Once we start valuing our pieces, then those pieces want to stay. They don't want to go somewhere. It's the same thing as you're a sports guy. It's the same thing as, you know, LeBron going to South Beach or going to Los Angeles. You have to give him a reason to stay in Cleveland. You have to give me a reason to stay at this job.
Do you think that we can realistically, though, because I 100% agree. I think that labor is a big problem. I think that we are undervalued. I think our work weeks are too long. I think that we aren't paid enough. But do you think that we can realistically implement a more suitable pay scale and work life and still maintain like the way of living, you know, like because right now you've got to think all these places are so desperate for people that they're shelling out $18-20 an hour for something that they normally pay like $9 or $10. That's eventually going to catch up to them. These smaller businesses can't afford to pay a cashier at the fast food place $20. I mean, a McDonald's or Wendy's, they've got the money, but the smaller scale restaurants, they can't afford that without there being some change, without pricing changing. So people like us who have already been within our job role, our pay isn't increasing due to all these other jobs, people getting taken on.
And there's my problem.
And making a lot of money because that place is so desperate.
Yep.
So when these companies have to take on these extra expenses and raise, we've always said, well, yeah, other people are making more money. It won't affect you because you're making more money. The increase in cost of goods won't affect you. Well, unless it happens across the board, it's not going to work out.
But the thing is those people though, who, so you still have, like, as you said, the $16 to $18 an hour jobs, but they're still not getting filled. Why is that?
Right.
Because these people have a parachute to fall back on. And that to me is another big problem. Yeah. So I'm going to get called out relentlessly on this issue. And I personally don't give a fuck. We need to start taking away funding when it comes to, you know, unemployment, stuff like that. There needs to be boundaries for stuff like that.
Yeah.
In this time, during this age where there's countless job opportunities everywhere, I don't remember a time where there's ever been so many jobs in my life available.
Yeah.
There is no fucking excuse. The only possible explanation I could say is you were injured in war or something like that. Outside of that, get your fucking ass to work.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, there's definitely actual excuses for not working, disability type things where you've actually gone through a process and been approved to not work.
But they have programs for that, though. Those are separate programs.
No, I agree.
Those people are getting funded in a different way. Like my brother, for instance, is mentally and physically handicapped.
Agreed.
He is paid so much money every month as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, you don't need unemployment for somebody like that.
No. They fall under disability. They fall under different. So like those people not working, though, I mean, okay, I understand. But choosing not to work, I mean, there's a lot of people on unemployment that are just not working because they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Or what I know for a long time, it was honestly, people weren't working because you can make more money not working than what places were willing to pay you.
That's how it was at the start
why
of
are you
this.
going to go to work when you can make more money by doing nothing? And that is a flaw in the system because the people that actually can't work need to make enough money to survive. But then you have the people that just don't want to work or know that if they're on unemployment, they're going to make X amount of dollars more and then they don't have to do anything.
Well, and that's the thing
cut
too,
it
is
off.
like a
Cut it
lot
off.
of people are making enough money to survive. And that's the thing too. Like you hear all this stuff about people talking about like, well, they make more money than I do. That ends up drying up eventually to a point. But most people are making enough that they're able to stay in their place. They're able to eat.
Yeah.
And
Just enough.
Why would I go?
Right.
If I'm a lazy fuck who doesn't want to work, I don't care if I live in a crappy house, but I have enough food. I mean, I'm eating good. I don't have to go up and bust my ass. I can sit at home. I can do whatever I want.
Because you got to think a lot of people that are on unemployment, or some people that are on unemployment, not only are you getting unemployment, but then you're getting housing assistance and you're getting food assistance. So to Jesse's point, if it just means that I have to live in a Section 8 housing or a government assisted house and I can live there for free and get my food paid for and make an income and get to do whatever the fuck I want, why am I going to go to work?
And that's kind of what I was saying by parachute. So like, if these people aren't feeling pinched one way or another, and I'm not even talking just financially, I'm saying like, if their livelihood isn't feeling pinched, you're never going to see change. They are going to milk that spot dry for as long as they can. And that's a lot of the problem. It's a lot of angles. That's why I said, it's not just one answer to your question. It's many.
And it's like, and there's a lot of people that feel attacked by this. They think that, oh, you're attacking people that are on unemployment and they're not just choosing not to work. You know what? Look, a lot of this isn't necessarily about, it is about unemployment as a whole, but it's not necessarily about the people that were on unemployment before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about the people that went on unemployment during COVID because maybe their job shut down temporarily and they got these unemployment bonuses and they needed to ride it out. Okay. And I know if you were working at a job making X amount of dollars, and you need to find a job within that same price range to maintain your lifestyle. Okay, I get it. But everywhere is hiring.
And everywhere has changed pretty much since that.
Everywhere is hiring. Everywhere is changed pay. You are in a position right now where you have the ability, you have the power as the employee to negotiate your pay and negotiate what you want. There is no excuse. It can no longer be about the excuse of, well, we're not going to work because we're not getting paid enough.
Mm-hmm.
You can negotiate what you want.
Mm-hmm.
They're paying $20 an hour to fry chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
So, and like I said, they're still not going back. So what's the difference now? What do we have to say? Do we say the problem's still with the employer and the fact that they're not paying enough? Or do we say the problem is at home with the fact that they're still getting a coddled life?
Nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of it is, one was the bonus that we had, the unemployment bonus, which I still to this day do not get.
No.
You should have been compensating the people that were still going to work, dealing with all of the bullshit every day.
I agree.
Than the ones that were sitting out. And now I get it. Some of them wasn't by choice. If you were in the service industry, it closed down. You couldn't go to work. Your restaurant was closed because of COVID, whatever. But there was people busting their ass, going to work, dealing with all the bullshit every day. All of us,
none of us.
Everyone here have worked since COVID started,
risking my life
and have not
every
taken
day.
any time off. So there should have been some kind of implementation for that. It needs to be a reverse incentive where, like we've all said, you go to work and you either going to get a tax credit for going to work, or maybe the government gives you a monthly stimulus every month for going to work.
Yep.
Because the employers can't take on all the burden, because I think long term it's going to crumble.
No, I agree.
All these places paying so much extra money to try and get people there is not going to be sustainable. They're not going to be able to maintain that expense. The big corporations, sure, but the smaller places are going to take the hit. Local businesses are going to crumble. They can't afford it.
That's why I said the situation at home comes into play after that.
Absolutely.
Once the employers have stepped up and said, we can offer you this much and here's the best we can do. Yep. Now it comes into, okay, well, what can we change at home? Yep. Well, it's that free money shit that we have to fucking stop. Yeah. They're not working. Why are they getting free money?
It's going to be on Biden. And this isn't a hit at Biden. If it was Trump was in still office, it would be on Trump. It's going to be on the government, on the president to fucking grow some balls and say we're done. That look, they become more restrictive on what they require for you to stay on unemployment, which they said they were going to. I know supposedly the stimulus ended, like the extra money ended in June or July or something. So supposedly that stopped. So that the extra money people were getting is going to go away. So you're either going to have to adjust your lifestyle now to stay on unemployment, or they also had stated that they were going to get more strict. Like you had to actually, like if you got a job offer and you don't accept it, that you're like basically no longer eligible, kind of thing. So they need to follow through.
I agree.
Like we're going to need to crack down and force people to go back to work. Nobody wants to work. I don't want to work, but I have to. I don't either. And there's no, if you don't physically have a mental handicap, a physical handicap, a reason you cannot go to work, there should be no reason you're not working.
Unless we make the robots.
Unless we make the robots. Unless we live in Jesse's utopia, like Wall-E.
There just has to be a benefit why I get up every day versus why somebody sleeps in until 12 o'clock and says, fuck, I'm going to do whatever I want with my life today.
Well, and the other thing is people that are in like trade jobs and stuff. So like my little brother works in a trade. He is a farm technician. He is in like trade labor. Like he is a skilled, whatever, mechanic, whatever it is. And he's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I going to go to work and bust my ass doing this when I could go do something that takes nothing to do and they're making more money than I am. You know,
what did you say he was? A farm technician?
Farm technician.
So he could make the farming robots that could put us into a utopia.
He could. No, so he does.
Step one, Weiss.
He services all of the farms. So like if you know the dairy, he works in the dairy industry. So the farms that do have cows and things like that.
The cows that we discussed about butchering and having unlimited wagyu.
Exactly. He works in that industry. But to that, I mean, it's true though. You got to think, and that's just like all of us. Like there's people that are now making $20 an hour to do a job. And none of my pay is changing for me busting my ass and the amount of work that it takes to do what I do.
And that's always been my biggest thing with like raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Yeah.
I didn't make $15 an hour when I managed the movie theater. Right. I made $10.75 and the people below me made like $8. And that was my incentive for running the movie theater.
Yep.
And now you've got people who are making 15 who are doing nothing.
Yep.
What happens to those positions above? Are they getting the adequate pay raise that goes with it?
Yeah,
because I guarantee you, if I was at Regal and they said, they raised the minimum wage, they'd be going, Unc, you're making $15 an hour also. Sorry.
I know at my past job, the like start off position, you were making 15 an hour. And then they raised it to 16 an hour. And then they raised it to 18 an hour. And then they raised it to 20 an hour. Everyone above them, no raise.
No raise.
Management, no raise.
Wow.
The full-time position, no raise. These people had a $5 an hour increase over the course of a year, and no one above them got a raise.
Holy shit.
Like that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
You got to increase across the board. Otherwise, what happens is that's why people quit. And that's why people are leaving. Part of this is people don't want to work. And part of it is people are fed up with the way that we are treated as employees.
I agree.
And people are like taking a stand like, fuck it. But when do we find the resolution? Because it's all going to crumble. It's going to be another fallout. It's not going to last forever.
I think the second problem is the employer's problem. The first problem is a governmental problem.
Yeah. We have to figure out a way to end we have to figure out getting people back to work. And then with that, we need to figure out a way to implement or facilitate a better work-life balance within this country and just how often we work, the hours that we work. You know, a lot of places are doing 4-day work weeks. They work less hours and
I'd be a-okay
you'd
with
be
that.
more productive.
I'll work 10-hour days. I'm fine with that.
Bro, I want to play devil's advocate real quick.
Do it.
So let's say, because most of us know a piece of shit that's taking advantage of the system.
Yeah.
So let's say we take away these programs, get a fucking job. Government's not going to help you anymore. You're making very, very minimum, if anything, off of welfare, food stamps, or whatever the process is.
Right.
Enter a kid like one of my students, 15 years old, pregnant, has a baby, no skills at all, hasn't been in school their entire life because their parents were pieces of shit, no education, no skills.
There's computer jobs. There's data entry jobs.
Here's the thing.
All kinds of shit that you can easily learn.
You can walk in to McDonald's today and make $16 an hour, have a sign-on bonus. My first apartment, you know how much I was making a year or making an hour? I was making $9.75 an hour. And this wasn't that long ago. And that apartment charges the same amount today as it did when I was making $9.75. And I afforded to live there.
Yeah.
You can make it happen
now
on $16 an hour.
Sure.
You might not be living high and mighty and going to Disney every day, but you are going to earn a living and you can buy things and have your own place.
But I think your scenario too is a lot of the problem too. And I'm not blaming this on you.
No.
I'm saying
it's not me. I'm not pregnant at 15.
I don't want you to think I'm lashing out at you though, is what I'm saying. The problem is that more times than not, kids will look at a way out and they'll say like, what's the situation that I can use and milk this for everything it's worth? Pregnancy. That's what I'll do. And maybe it's, their decision. Maybe it's against their will. That's not for me to say, but that's what the problem is. It's that there's too many outs and we need to close those outs. I know it's insensitive, but at the same time, there's plenty of jobs that she can get. Computer, anything. Like we'll supply you the computer. You sit at home, do data entry all day.
To Chris's point, and for you to answer your devil's advocate is, what is the solution? Because I agree with Chris. I see a trend with people know that if they have kids, they get bank, they get a ton of money in tax.
You make a shitload. I'm going to make $3,000 when Kelly's born. Because I had a baby.
Because of shows like fucking Teen Mom.
Right. So you can make all that money. So it's like, cool. Yeah, I'm going to pop out a kid and now I'm going to go on welfare and get money for my kid. And I don't have to do anything. If you have a kid, you should be responsible for that child. A child shouldn't be a free pass.
Because I'm not even talking specifically just about pregnancy, but I'm talking like Canton City is a perfect example. The entire district of Canton City schools, every single student is considered poor. We have so much poverty in our area that we are considered. They said, well, you've hit a number where it's basically, it doesn't even make any sense not to. So everybody gets free lunch and every single benefit because there's just so many poor. We're not even going to worry about the 2% that actually have money. Everybody's considered poor.
That's fine.
So you've got all these people who come from these homes who probably had parents that were 15 when they had them for the most part, who had no education, has no way of bringing them up. I mean, we all live in decent-ish areas where there's opportunity nearby. In Canton, there's only so much opportunity, whether that's a McDonald's or a fast food. They can only hire so many people.
Right.
When you've got 1,400 kids at McKinley who, and this is partially because of the education system and things, other factors also. I'm not saying that it's not all these kids' fault, and it's definitely not their fault because they're also lazy fucks in certain places and things like that as well. But you have such a large amount of uneducated, unskilled young workers. What do you do? It's easy to say, yeah, we can put them on a computer and everything, but even that, kids don't even know how to fucking Google shit anymore.
I implement a diversified co-op training in the school itself. I really do. Like, here's the thing. If they're not going to go out and reach for a job, we're going to supply them with one regardless.
I think that I think putting them into the system just is a negative impact on them. You're just saying, well, you know what? That's what's determined for you.
100%.
You're going to be on unemployment because we're not going to put any effort into you getting a job. We're going to make it easy on you. And it's going to turn into nothing. Forcing them to go get any kind of job, even if it's just McDonald's, is going to build some kind of skilled trade or labor or personal connection with people.
But once you're forcing them to get that job, that seems very China. You're gonna be a doctor.
Well, no, I don't mean I'm not saying forcing them to get any specific job. I just mean forcing them to get a job in general, whether it be McDonald's or you work at Walmart or you go to Target and stock shelves, you work in a warehouse, you go work at Amazon.
Sure.
There are a lot of places hiring. And if you have to take the bus to get there, you take the bus to get there. I took the bus to get to my first job. I didn't have a car yet, and my parents both worked. Right. So if I wanted to get to work, I took the bus. And I wasn't poor. I wasn't in an area where like I was forced to, but I wanted to go to a job and earn a living. So I took the bus and I got there. And it wasn't even close. I mean, I took like multiple buses to get there.
I think
you can make it happen. I think the issue is we just push it off as, oh, well, you know what? They're poor and they live in a bad area. So they're just going to be on the system forever. And that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
When that's just negatively, that doesn't help them any. To Chris's point, let's implement something at school. If we know these kids aren't going to college most of the time, 98% of them aren't going to go to college, then implement a trade within the school. Implement something to make to assist them with doing something when school ends. You know, there's not an easy solution for everyone, but it's a matter of figuring out a way to stop the advantage.
I think you have multifaceted things, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't disagree with what you guys are saying for the most part, but like, I think that even that putting trades into the schools, those have to be funded. Funding for schools comes from property taxes. The poor ass kids and the poor ass districts don't have any property taxes because it's cheap ass property. And that's why you have schools like Jackson, they get whatever the fuck they want, versus schools like McKinley, who nobody has any fucking money. And we can't even afford to add a new art teacher in my building.
But to be fair, half of our solution was governmental problem.
I was 100%.
But here's the thing.
Reallocation of funds, I think, is the biggest thing, and how you're utilizing those.
I would be more about, let's implement the government money that we're going to give for unemployment and use that money to fund these programs and not have it come from taxes. Use the money from unemployment and say, you know what, instead of that, we're going to fund programs within these areas that are highly on unemployment,
giving you opportunities,
and help them with opportunities. Allocate that funds to do something positive with the environment, than just say, just spend the rest of your life relying on the government, especially when you're at their mercy. You never know what's going to happen with that.
Right.
So do something different with it. Reallocate the money.
Money is a temporary, opportunity is a lifetime.
I agree. I mean, we've been trying to get shit in our building forever. I went out of my way right before COVID. I had jobs lined up for my students where I called and said, hey, I'm personally implementing a program. My school district hasn't signed off on this, but I am trying to get kids hired. Will you hire them? And a lot of places said yes. Then COVID hit and we couldn't do it. But I mean, we had 8 places interested in hiring kids. Now, whether or not that would have panned out, who knows? But schools aren't going around doing that themselves. That was something I personally took the step to do.
Here's even something else that I think would be ideal. And this is all a fucking never going to happen. This is all a dream, because nothing we say is ever going to matter. Let's be honest. But instead of unemployment, we set a base level of income. Everyone needs to make $1,800 a month, whatever it might be. And you are required to work. And instead of unemployment, you're going to make $1,300 at your job based on what they pay. And we will supplement the other $500 if you're working, rather than paying you the full $2,000 a month in unemployment wages. We will supplement the difference. Because you're going to work, you're actually doing something, you're earning something. I'd rather give someone $500 a month because they're actually waking up and doing something productive than give them $2,000 a month, rather than negatively. Because look, my mom was in that position. My mom was in between jobs at one point. She was on unemployment in between finding a new job, and she had multiple job offers, and she turned them down because she wasn't going to make enough to survive on the unemployment. She wanted to work. Why would you not take the person that actually wants to go to work and do something and just supplement the $200 difference in what they're going to make each month?
I'm fully on board with that.
Why would that not work? I mean, at that point, we're back to the kind of rewarding people that are going to work. Cool. This person has got a job,
but there's an
McDonald's is only going to pay him $12 an hour. We've determined that, you know, to live a sustainable life in this country, you need to make at least 15. We will supplement the other $3 an hour.
But where does that money come from supplementally from the government without our taxes?
It's the unemployment that we would be paying them the $2,000 a month anyways. Now we're just going to pay them $300 a month instead.
Yeah, that's true.
We're already paying out hand over fist unemployment, food stamps, living expense, rather than pay
for no effort
person the full money. Everyone has to work. And we will supplement the income difference
for no effort versus some effort here. You know, I'm on board.
It's not costing any more money. It's actually going to cost us less because we're only paying them a fraction of what we would have to pay them for work.
The point is just to sum it all up, there has to be some benefit for working.
AOC, hit us up. We got solutions over here.
Your girl.
Let's also
I like AOC.
let's also start by fucking actually taxing the fucking people up there that are making all the money, like she said.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to
that's-
get people to vote on that.
That's
though.
another fucked up thing. Is that's a whole nother story. Is income in the income levels and manipulation. I get it. It's free. What are we? Capitalism.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone can make as little as much as they want. You know, and to each their own.
No
But
ceiling.
there's definitely advantage. People that take advantage of the system on both aspects, the rich and the poor.
Dog eat dog.
And we just need to get to a point where we're a rich enough country we can make this work. We're rich and we're intelligent. There is a solution. We just have to be willing to implement it. We have to make it work at some point. So I don't know. I'm using my phone for a camera. I don't know what else I had. I think that's probably sufficient for this evening.
I think that was a
You guys
damn good conversation. So
got- all right, gentlemen.
Eat the rich, murder them, and cook them over a fire.
You don't get us banned like you on Facebook.
Execute the unvaccinated.
eat these
Wow.
and be kind.
Where's
Rewind.
my button for that? We don't agree with Jesse's statement. Everyone has a free choice to get vaccinated or not. Just be accepting of the consequences.
It will definitely help our country. Burn the bodies in the streets like the plague.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. That is Made to Motivate podcast. Make sure you tune into the show every week. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube so you know when the new videos launch. And check out our pages individually if you can. We appreciate the support. At Jesse Unk SI on Twitter. Chris the Film Freak Kessinger. Check out the Film Freak review page on Facebook. And I am Ryan Weiss. You can check out rockeverywhereinc.etsy.com to follow my art and apparel page. We appreciate the support. And of course, at Made to Motivate podcast on all social media sites. Thanks again, and we'll check you next week.